Yes, indeed. And they're off. Yo, welcome to the No Pick Show. I'm your host, chedda-chaz. I'm here with my dog, Just A. Davis. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you haven't already. And once the video is finished, hype the video up. It don't cost you nothing to push that button. Al, how you doing, big brother?
Well, I'm cooling, dog. I'm cooling. What it is, man. Look, it's been an eventful Monday morning. You heard me in the
It's
Pell
always
Space,
something.
Though.
It's always something. Look, I did shout out to Toronto. I want to show some love to Toronto, right? Right. Shout out to the six. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I see y'all in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And shout out to everybody in the six. You know what I'm saying? Because, dog, when I say I did the Brandon Ingram video, right? They left some of the most vile comments I've ever seen.
Shout out to the six. Shout out Toronto.
Shout out to Toronto. Look, I like y'all energy. Like I'm fucking with that. Like the energy is
they with it.
Because
listen, I was reading the comments. It's like either they all for Brandon or they completely out already on Brandon. And I'm with it either way.
The craziest thing, shout out my dog Looney in the build. He said the biggest Pelicans Craig. That's me. No, you know it was wild, son. No, it was wild. I was like, I escaped most of the backlash in the comments because I'm used to people like talking shit to me. But this guy said, I got to get you on the show. Reach out because
they was attacking Sid, boy.
But shout out to Toronto, hell of a series, put up a hell of a fight. Man, but you know, back in the Pelicans land. Hey, yo, special shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Let me shout y'all out while we get started. JK in the building, Blackest Nerd, what's the deal? Josh Murdoch, Fist of the Black Star, what's popping? Looney, Jay Burke, Corey, what's happening? Brock, my dog, Most Hated, what's happening with y'all, man? Shout out to everybody. Hope
y'all you can't be starting off comments like that, though.
Oh, yeah, JK. Dividends, what's happening? JK said perfect right after Raw. Oh, man. And matter of fact, shout out to the New Day, man. Xavier Woods. He's out of there. Damn, man. Shout out to both of them, man. My guys, man. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. Come join the show, talk about it. But so it's been a chaotic. RJ, what's happening? Brandon, what's happening? So it's been a chaotic Monday, right? And here's the thing, bro. I've been doing this a little while now. The thing that always gets me is when there's not necessarily any new news and people react to the old news. Like, for example, been talking about, me personally, been talking about Jamahl Mosley since November, right? Yes. Since November.
Yes.
Pistons round the turn, win the series. The Magic have an incredible meltdown, which, to my opinion, was no fault of the head coach. Like, I saw Desmond Bain miss a lot of wide open jumpers that he would normally make. I saw Suggs. He was just terrible the entire series. Franz is out. To me, I don't put much of the onus on the head coach. Now, one can say you probably shouldn't have been the 8th seed, but put no onus on the head coach. But people are melting down at the prospect of Jamahl Mosley interviewing for the Pelicans job. Interviewing, not getting the job. But just even being in strong consideration, what do you make of the outrage?
I think the fan base is so in awe of the idea of getting Rondo that it just makes you hate any other like the rational, I don't want to say rational people know, but the irrational fan, it just makes you hate the prospect of anybody else other than Rondo. So like, and then with Mosley and the way that series just ended, like the way that it ended, even
it was an embarrassing fashion.
Yes, like game 6 was terrible, up 20 to down, whatever. Like, it's just not a good look to interview that guy days after. Like, I'm not saying they shouldn't interview him because, again, they've been linked to him since November, like you said, but just the outrage of it all is, I think, is mainly because you just saw them blow the 3-1 lead, and then to bring that guy in is just kind of like, it just has like a negative stain on it too. Like, if he would have got eliminated in the play-in, you probably would have felt different about it as opposed to watching him blow the 3-1 lead.
You know, the optics of everything is crazy to me. Like, for example, JB Bickerstaff got a contract extension today. If they would have lost that series, I still think he gets the contract extension. With Mosley, I feel like Mosley was almost getting fired, almost like no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But maybe he could have bought himself some time to get fired during the regular season next year. Like maybe he would have got fired during the season. But you see, guys win coach of the year and get fired. You know, it happens. Yep. Kenny Atkinson was going to be on. If Kenny Atkinson if they don't get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, he's probably going to be on the hot seat. That's how fast these things happen. But to me, what I question the outrage, and shout out to everybody in the building, make sure y'all hit the like button. Where I question the outrage is that, okay, if Mosley would have won that series and advanced to the second round, would you have been happy that he would have got interviewed and that he was the same coach? He would have been the same person. Exactly. Yep. So, you know.
The optics and the perspective of it is, you know what it is? It's like, you know how NBA players say it's a make or miss league. It's literally, it's the same thing, bro. Because if Mosley wins that series, and let's say in the second round they take whoever to 7 games and lose, you know what I mean? Like a tough 7-game series, he still gets fired. Then it's like the optics around that conversation is, man, you just had a guy who almost went to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But like, see, so it's I don't know, bro. I think fandom is irrational.
It is. I mean, fan is short for fanatic. I think we all have to like quantify what success is, right? Yeah. Because again, we're the same fan base that was like, well, we pushed the Suns to 6. Shout out to Victoria. What's up, Victoria? We pushed the Suns to 6. We won.
At no point games. Had no lead in that series.
Yeah, so it's always like a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always a thing to where you have to define what success is to you. So again, the reason the thumbnail say "Where's the fire?" because, bro, there's been
hella smoke.
I've really never seen this much smoke surrounding the New Orleans Pelicans as it pertains to like an acquisition, be it coach, player, what have you. I think shout out to Chris, my dog Chris. He was like CJ McCollum is probably the closest comparison to the amount of noise and smoke surrounding Rajon Rondo coming to this team. But there's been some other names mentioned, like that's right here with Rajon Rondo as far as being in the chase. Shout out to Rod Walker. He mentioned Steve Hetzel. Rod Walker writes for the Time-Picayune. He was in his column. He mentioned that he believes that Rondo could potentially have the edge, but Steve Hetzel and Rondo would be his top 2 finalists if he had to call it today, based on the feeling in the building. So how do you feel? Why do you think a decision hasn't been made yet? And have you ever seen this much smoke surrounding the organization?
So as far as like the smoke, like you said, it's hard to read between the smoke that the fan base is creating.
Yeah, that's a good point you're making. That's a good point you're making.
Because the fan base is just like Rondo, right? But you haven't heard like Rod Walker has put something out, like Rod recently just put something out, coming out being like, look, you know, word is, or it just kind of seems like
I think he had a list of like the top 5 and he did pros and cons. Make sure y'all check out Rod, man.
So finally coming out with that, but the smoke is mainly being created more so with the fan base. And then the other smoke you get is being that Rondo got interviewed. You hear like, you know, you heard DeMarcus Cousins and what's your boy, Lou Will, a couple of those guys, you know, people talking about Rondo potentially going into coaching and then coming out saying that Rondo would actually take the job. So like, I wonder I do think there is a lot of smoke. Don't get me wrong, but I'm wondering, are we fabricating the smoke?
Are we fanning the flames?
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Because them interviewing Rondo and stuff, I think there's a lot of credence to it. And they still haven't, and they have not said, they haven't eliminated anybody yet specifically, right? So they haven't said
Darvin Ham won't be the coach.
Exactly. So they haven't taken anybody technically out of the running.
Borrego, for example.
Borrego, another one, for example. But you do hear, you know, Rod, shout out to Rod, coming through and saying, well, look, based on what it feels like, these 2 particular names have the lead.
And this is before boy Mosley had lost his job with the Orlando Magic, so now he's another candidate that's in the pool. And I'm sorry to stop your wisdom, but for every name that gets interviewed, there's a name that's not on the list anywhere. Yeah, like there's a name that we have not heard about anywhere, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, they was interviewed." Like, yeah, they talked to them too. Remember, like a couple weeks ago, it was Billy Donovan.
Yes,
like, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, the second Billy Donovan got fired, it was like, "Oh, Billy Donovan is the name," and it's like, no, they're not targeting Billy Donovan. And you know what's crazy about Billy Donovan is you hear some people say, "Man, I don't think Billy Donovan." Like some people would like, if you hire Billy Donovan, it was like, "Man, listen, it would immediately be, it would be amazing," right?
Right.
And then you hear some people come out and say, "Hey, Billy Donovan will be terrible." So it's just part of the business, though. No matter, there's people on both sides of everything. Like you've been hearing a lot of fans say, "Listen, we want Rondo," and then at the same time, you hear some people be like, "I don't think Rondo is the best candidate, quote unquote, candidate for the job." So it's just, I don't know, man. I just think it's interesting all the way.
In reference, shout out to Louisiana Gale in the building. She said, she believes that they've probably spoken to upwards of 10 people. I totally agree. I think they're doing a major due diligence here because you're not only looking for head coach, you're talking about assistants. You just hired the strength and conditioning guy from Nebraska. Shout out to Kurt. They made that official today. I'll say this, right? The process of casting a wide net means you're going to have to hear some names attached to your program that you may or may not be happy with just based on due diligence. And there's also the agent component to where, like, all right, I have a relationship with this guy and this agent. We're going to throw his name in the mix just, just to have him out there, saying, to put him in the mix.
Another to your point, though, you see this a lot of times with like, even when players are trying to get traded and stuff like that, you'll hear other teams. And Joe Dumars spoke about this when when he was doing his exit interview, where you might hear somebody call and say, just what's up with so-and-so, and it's like nothing. And it's like the reporter come out and say, well, yeah, we had a conversation.
Right,
it's
we
like,
spoke about it.
Yeah, we spoke about it. It's like, well, yeah, but what was the context? Or there was no context. So I'm saying with like the coaching names and stuff, it's kind of like we don't know what's like. They're actually playing this really close to the vest, which you know what I mean?
And one thing I was going to say, as it pertains to smoke, there's the public smoke and there's the behind the scenes smoke.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie, even if we take the fan element out of the equation, it's like there's been some serious behind the scenes smoke as well. So also shout out to you, fam. Some a little bit more than even I'm used to. Now on the trade front, I've been here several times with the Scoot Henderson thing, and I've also seen situations where you run right up to the edge, but you don't jump. And like we almost had a deal, we almost had this, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Sweeney is another guy that I saw today. Shout out to K Wright for Chicago. Sweeney, the guy who I think you're the first person I ever heard mention Sweeney from San Antonio. He's a hot coaching candidate to become the next head coach of Chicago Bulls. There's only so many jobs available. And by
that's a Bryson kind of hire, though.
You know what? Quick segue. Shout out to Bryson, right? Shout out to Bryson. I'm really never mind. I'm not even gonna talk about it.
You don't know nothing about Bryson.
No, I don't know Bryson because the thing is, like, with Bryson and Trajan during their tenure in New Orleans, and Bryson been in for a long time, but it's like I can't like thank you for everything positive you've done in New Orleans because the team hasn't been successful. So how do I know you weren't a part of the problem? Like, you know what I'm saying? You've been there 15 years. The team ain't been good for a long time. I'm not saying Bryson was or wasn't. I'm just saying like common sense would say it's like, I don't really have evidence that you were good or to the contrary. I don't know. But when you look at like some of the jobs available, there's a finite amount of jobs available. Steve Kerr looks like he may be going back to the Warriors. The Bucks fill their vacancy quickly. I can't think of a ton of vacancies off the top of my head. Billy Donovan is probably going to Orlando, maybe. That it would make sense. Or Tibbs. I heard Tibbs linked.
Reports of Tibbs.
Yeah.
Listen,
Tibbs.
you know what's crazy? This is what's crazy. Like when you follow other teams, right? Orlando, like, what the fuck we need Tibbs for? Like we have a defensive team already. Like we need somebody that coaches offense. Why would we want Tibbs? So it's just weird when you like follow other teams' fan bases and like you see the reports come out and how they react to certain coaches and how other people react, which I completely understand. Is very interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, do you think there being so few jobs available that would allow some leverage from the standpoint of, all right, I'll hire you, but I get to pick your staff. Shout out to my dog X in the building. He's saying, I'll hire you, but since there ain't that many jobs available, you want to come here, I'm more in control of roster construction and stuff like that. I think that's one of the reasons why you see them also targeting, at least for now, that we know
younger
coaches, cheaper coaches, because that allows you to spend big with the quote unquote big with the staff and maybe fill in a couple other spots here and there with the money you have available versus hiring a quote unquote marquee coach. So what do you think for the leverage standpoint with the team?
I agree with you from that standpoint. I think like most of it is one, I think they're doing their due diligence because you really gotta, in my opinion, they really gotta get this first hire right. Like
you gotta hit a home run here.
Like their first coaching hire has to be, you know, like damn near a home run. You know what I mean? Yep. Man, make sure y'all hit the like button.
Thank you, Victoria. Shout out to everybody in the building. We on Twitter and we're on here. We got 65 people watching on YouTube, but probably another 60 something on Twitter. Make sure you hit the like button and share it live. If you're on Twitter, just take a moment, hit the thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, take a moment, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. But go ahead. Appreciate you. Thank you, Victoria.
Well, yeah. So that's the I kind of lost my train of thought. What was we talking about?
I was saying for leverage, like for there being so few jobs available yet.
I definitely think that like the younger coach, they want to go a younger coach because they absolutely have to get this. Like you can't afford them after the regardless of how you feel about it, like trading a pick and where that pick might fall and everything. If that pick jumps into the lottery, like you done cleaned house and all of that, like you kind of gotta really get the ball rolling. And that's not to say that you gotta come out and have like a 50-win season or nothing like that, but you have to feel as though, okay, we got our coach for the future, like to where you're not hiring and firing a motherfucker after one season.
That's the thing as well, where like you may not get several opportunities to get this right. So you got to make your next move, your best move with this one. Hopefully you can, and here's the thing, you can start off mediocre and ascend.
Yes,
but you can't start off and it's just a total disaster from the jump. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to make your next move. You got
and to the point that you was making about like the financials and the staffing and stuff. I also think that you interview as many people as possible. Anybody that you may have interest in, you call them in an interview. Like you take as much time as you need to make sure you get it right first. Also, everybody may not want to be, I ain't gonna say may not want to be a head coach. I imagine everybody want to be, but again, with the limited opportunities, you might be willing to get somebody to come to your program, or you might find two coaches that work really well together. Like hypothetically, what if you interview Rondo and Rondo really like Hetzel? You know what I mean? And you find yourself in a situation where, of course, the guys want to be a head coach. But what if you find yourself in a situation where you can make it work, where you land both of the top potential coaches and you start building your staff out that way? And you instead of going with Jamahl Mosley's going to probably cost, regardless of whatever it is, he's he has a sort of resume. Like he's not like one of the bottom tier.
He's a guy.
He's a legit guy. Like Taylor Jenkins. Hypothetically, if you hire Taylor Jenkins, like that's gonna come with a certain price tag, right? Price tag you might not be willing to spend, but if you do it the first year head coach, not saying that they might not request some money, but you also might get another opportunity to have more influence on them and what you think would benefit them from a staff perspective, as opposed to a guy that's already seasoned, a veteran coach that's gonna be like, nah, I don't want none of what you're talking about. I need X, Y, and Z in order for me to come in.
I can't imagine a front office going into their second year is going to turn over the reins to a head coach. No. That's why I think a guy like Tibbs, people like that, in my opinion, is kind of just totally out of the equation, right? As far as like the amount of control they might want. Because at this point, Tibbs is an elder statesman, OG, veteran. He's a championship or bust guy. Shout out to Louisiana girl. Even with she say people have also to stop saying Joe won't hire someone who wants control or influence in the roster and the staff. They just want collaboration. Malone would have come if they had their money right. Even a guy like Malone, another person, championship or bust guy, right? So it's interesting because they find themselves in a peculiar spot. Because even when I was looking at, like, shout out to Jaylen Brown had his stream yesterday, and we were talking. We were like, man, I would be trying to trade for Jaylen Brown or somebody.
I'm calling.
But here's the thing: it's like even calling, I was like, if I'm the Celtics, I'm hanging up. If I'm you don't really have,
you don't got nothing that I need.
Yeah, you don't got nothing that I really want, like necessarily that would be of equal value. Like unless you're willing to just give me 6 picks or something like that, and you're gonna give me, you don't necessarily have those blue chip prospects like young rookie cost control. We think that might be Jeremiah Fears. The jury's still out a bit on Derek Queen, but you don't have like those young, exciting prospects on rookie sale contracts just yet. You don't have Peyton Watson just yet, right? Even though he's about to get paid. But, so it does make it a little bit difficult to, swing big in certain cases. Now, for head coach, as compared to, swinging big for superstar caliber players, for head coach, you can drive me nuts. Like you can go for anybody. They have to just show mutual interest. So what are some names that you wouldn't be disappointed with, just based off the list that's been out there? It's Hetzel, Sweeney, Darvin, Rondo. Who else was on that list? Borrego. Let's say those are the 5 names. Out of that list. Out of that list. Who wouldn't disappoint you? I think I know the answer.
Well, I definitely wouldn't be disappointed with Rondo.
Right.
And to Louisiana Gal's point, this is why. Because these are the people that I think would be more in line with Joe and Troy's vision. Like I think they all will be working in unison, right? I don't think it would, as far as beliefs, style, like the way that they want to build this team, I don't think you'll be fighting about personnel, because I think they'll all have the same or similar vision, like-minded about what it is we're trying to accomplish. So I think that's Rondo. I wouldn't be disappointed. I think it's Hetzel. And a lot of people may not know about Hetzel, but again, when Hetzel got interviewed, and again, he interviewed for some positions before and stuff like that, but like when he got interviewed, and like if you follow the Brooklyn media, they thought like shit. You know what I mean? Like
they like Hetzel.
They really like Hetzel on that staff. That says a lot about him. So I wouldn't be upset about him.
Also, that's that Michigan connection, Troy Weaver, Joe Dumars, that exists there. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't remember. Did they interview Nori? I don't think they interviewed Nori. I just think his name came up.
Yeah, it just came up as a name to watch. I also saw him linked to the Chicago.
I seen him. That's another, like, I could see them making that move too. But they interviewed Sweeney. So for me, Sweeney, like any of those guys that's gonna be like first time head coaches, Sweeney, Rondo, or Hetzel, I think I would be okay with all of them. I would be most disappointed. People might be mad when I say this, but I would be most disappointed with a Borrego hire.
I don't think no one would be mad.
No, because you know what it is? It's if you gonna hire, like, I would be more personally, I would be more disappointed with hiring Borrego than hiring Darvin. I'm gonna just be honest.
I agree.
I know a lot of people are like, man, I want nothing to do with Darvin Ham and nothing like that. And I'm just like, dog, James hadn't proved nothing. And if I want to go with some kind of change, any kind of change, why would I hire a guy that's a historical loser? Respectfully.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. Ultimately, it's
Man,
like, bro,
stop it, man.
he's been with the team for 3 years. And look, I'm gonna say this: the only thing that's gonna change from Borrego having a full off season and not having a full off season is him having a whistle around his neck. This motherfucker, nothing is going to change. Like, ultimately, in my opinion, unless the team is drastically improved, which you should be looking to do that anyway. But I just don't really see an avenue for him to be a part of the solution. He had 70 games. I don't want to beat up on Borrego's coaching resume because I've done enough of that throughout the season.
Yeah.
But like, this is not like something I heard. I watch the games, and and there's also been things I've heard where some of the players aren't necessarily thrilled with him. It's been here for 3 fucking years. I mean, it's a ton of evidence. So
let me ask you this, like, who do you think? And this might be, do you think that Portland has a significantly better roster than us? Like, significantly better. Stop it, man. D-boy hating. D-boy hating, bro.
Shout out to Pedro Bag. And she said, shit, ESPN did a whole 15-minute piece on it with Big Perk. Even Locked On Bucks did a show today dedicated to Rondo, to the Pels. Is Rondo ready? So the smoke is real. And look, man, I'm telling you,
check that out.
We've heard a lot, bro, about Rondo behind the scenes. Like, you would think that it's already done, but these things could change fast, bro. I'm telling you, I heard I got to the point where I have to tell people, yo, don't call me no more until the trade is done. Like with Scoop, because I was every hour, like, I think it's happening. Like, don't call me no more, like, until it's over. No, shout out to LP. Say I have a source close to trade dude once Rondo. I can believe it though. Rondo just comes with a certain air of respect, man.
Let me ask you this, and this is the biggest case I think for Rondo.
Okay,
I think that Joe knows that everybody wants Rondo, and I think he's just allowing it. Like, I think he's just allowing it, like, everybody to kind of, I think he's just allowing everybody to just kind of like, Rondo's the right guy, right? Like, I think he's just letting it play out the way, like, at the end of the day, it's like, aside from just the fandom aspect of it, is like, okay, we did everything we could. So this is what I mean. Well, even if, let's say, Rondo don't work out for whatever reason, don't come back in 3 seasons and try, like, let's say that Rondo does not have a good start to his career. They give him the roster, whatever situation, he just don't start off strong. Okay. But let's say, I don't know, Hetzel gets hired somewhere and he does well. Don't in 3 seasons double back and be like, they never should have hired Rondo in the first place. That's the shit. That's a good point. That's the shit that's gonna piss me off.
And because in basketball, everything is circumstance. Monty Williams was a Pelican, wasn't very successful. Went on to become an assistant again at OKC, had some successes. Went on to Phoenix, made the finals. Went to Detroit, wasn't successful. So a lot of these things are circumstantial, right? Like, and again, being a great player doesn't always translate to you being a great coach. But you would have to ask yourself, it's kind of like people who pursue their dreams. You would have to ask yourself, would you rather have went after this and it just didn't work out and you fell flat on your face? Or would you, or do you want to be the motherfucker that's like, man, I always did, I could throw a baseball, but I just never wanted to try out. I was scared, like, like, I'm scared of failing.
Yeah.
You can't be scared of failing because, look, this is the Pelicans, bro. You have to take chances. Like, you got to take chances.
And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna just be honest about because I personally, and we just said this before, I think Rondo's the guy. I did the whole episode earlier. I'm willing to put the stamp on it. And again, it might not work out, but I think Rondo was the hire. The thing about it is like, I personally think this is the most ideal situation for Rondo specifically. Because this is what I mean. The teams that have organizations right now, right? That have situations right now. Like, if you are Rondo, right? Who are you like? Unless you're getting called to Orlando, right? Or maybe Portland. But to my knowledge, Rondo don't have no ties to Portland, right? So New Orleans, you played for. Joe is the kind of guy that's like, look,
I'm sorry, if Portland only paying motherfuckers $1 million, they more in the chedda-chaz range.
Yeah,
of coaches. Like y'all need to be calling me.
Yeah,
versus Rondo and all these real coaches.
Exactly. So if you got the guy there in Tiago. If Tiago don't get that job, if I'm Rondo, I'm not even.
Tiago, man. Y'all
I'm not even. Yeah, I'm not even considering that. So let's take Portland out of it right now. Right? Orlando already, y'all in a win now. Y'all don't even have y'all can't even take a chance really on a Rondo type coach, in my opinion. Right? You played for the city. You know what it's like to be here. You know that they want you here and they're gonna support you through your ups and downs. Like you already know early, they're gonna support you through your ups and downs. 2, Joe have already come out and say we not about to rebuild, right? The reason that that's important is because you want to come into a situation where what most coaches mess up is like, let's say you go to Sacramento. Sacramento's not in. What is Sacramento trying to do? We trying to get everybody off the roster.
Yeah.
Right? Like you go in there, you already know it don't really matter what I do. We probably gonna lose for the next 2-3 seasons.
And by
then you can be ruined.
With certain teams, and I'm not saying this about Doug Christie necessarily, but if you plan on tanking anyway, it don't matter. Like you kind of want a coach that's not gonna accidentally be winning 10 games in a row and shit like that. By the way, we got like 70-something people in the YouTube room. Make sure you take a second, hit the like button. We appreciate everybody. Share the live and subscribe. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit the bell notification also. But you asked a question earlier about Portland's roster compared to the New Orleans roster, and I'm gonna say the sum of their parts are greater than New Orleans because they got several perimeter players, they got several bigs, they got they have quite the team, in my opinion. They have quite the team the way they could kind of consolidate and land a superstar caliber player, in my opinion. That's another team that I will be looking at if I'm looking to call for Jaylen Brown, because you got some control over the Bucks' future. I don't know if Giannis necessarily fits that team. Giannis and Dini, that don't seem like an ideal pairing, but you got Dini, who's balled out this year. You got Drew Holiday, Time Lord. He's gonna be a free agent, but you had him. You got Klingon. You benched Shaedon Sharpe. Scoot had an up and down postseason. You have a lot. Still got Jeremy Grant. They have a lot of like guys who can play to different levels. Whereas with the Pelicans, after that about that third, fourth person, you start I proposed something today, right? I proposed a Jabari trade, Jabari and Reed Shepherd for DeJounte, right? And shout out to my dog on Twitter. He was like, well, the Pelicans gonna have a log jam at power forward. And I'm like, bro, do you? And I don't mean this in like a facetious way, but I'm like, bro, truthfully, the Pelicans got about 2 power forwards that could be arguably unplayable some nights. In my opinion, like you have several people on this team that on a good team may not play whatsoever. Like we sitting here hoping that Bryce McGowan can continue his progression and be a real contributor next year. And that's no knock to Bryce McGowan's, but I'm saying that's just where we are as a roster. Whereas the Portland, they got 50 women with them, 50 more.
Shaedon Sharpe averaging 20, not getting on the floor.
Yeah, like they gave away Anthony Simons. Like they was like, all right, we don't, whatever. We got other people here, whatever.
Let me ask you this: is Portland almost 20 games better than the Pelicans, or do you think a part of that is Tiago?
I think a part of that is Borrego. So
always
the motherfucking O's. And here's the thing with that, bro. Here's the thing with that. Also, if Rondo had some hiccups his first year, any coach, any first year coach, if they had some hiccups their first year, like you kind of saw with JJ, now you could say JJ got 3. Well, I say 3. God help me. Well, it's the NBA, so he got at least 3 Hall of Famers on that team, depending on how you feel about Marcus Smart, right? So you got Luka.
He's coach 3. He had AD initially, Brian, and then he came with Luka. You ain't never not had at least 2.
Yeah. So when you look at that, when you look at his successes, it's like, he also has one of the greatest minds in the history of basketball, LeBron. But that goes to show you also a lot of what makes a team good are the players. Now, a coach at best, at worst, you want your coach to just be a neutral guy. Like, he's just not going to make mistakes. He's not going to be a mistake-ridden coach like you saw with Willie Green and Borrego.
Yes.
At best, he's the X factor that gets you over the hump in certain matchups. He makes adjustments on the fly. Like, there's certain things, like Darko, in my opinion, was out coaching Kenny Atkinson this series.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I thought he was out coaching him quite a bit. And he had the roster to match the fit. Yeah, he had what he needed to execute the game plan. Whereas, I think with Borrego, again, you got losses to Indiana, 2 losses to Milwaukee. You lost to the Nets. You lost to other tanking teams. You lost to the Kings. You lost
to everybody down the stretch.
You lost to everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, and you weren't actively tanking, and you were relatively healthy. So, and you can't really say, well, DeJounte was out. Okay, when he came back, he still was losing. So it was
my biggest indictment is I personally don't think people talk about the progression that Fears made and somewhat the progression that Queen made, right? But like, you saw Queen start to decline, regardless of if that's on, rookie wall or whatever the situation is, whatever. You could say Jeremiah is just a natural progression that he was going to make no matter who was coaching. That's first. The main issue that I had was I personally didn't see any progression like from, and again, I don't know if you want to consider this as a player, like on the player specifically, but Trey Murphy looked better last season.
In my opinion.
You know what I mean? Well. Like Zion looked better last season. And if I got the offensive guy, like I need my offensive guys to look better offensively.
If you talk about
or at least the same.
If you talk about like Mosley having an ISO heavy offense, it's like that was one of the things we were complaining about with the Pelicans. It's like, yo, these guys, everything is ISO, every shot is difficult. Threes ain't falling. You can't really generate easy looks. So ultimately, it's like, look, you can't blame a coach for all of the failures and none of the successes, right?
Right.
But in the Pelicans case, you don't have any successes. So everything falls on like you guys, like everything falls on the roster and the coaches. It's not like, well, he got them to do X. It's like, and look, man, people, and this is the dumbest thing ever. I say this on Twitter, bro. This is the dumbest shit ever. When people say stuff like, and this is stupid copium. People say shit like, and there might be a little bit of opium in there as well. But people say shit like, well, he never lost the locker room. It's like, that means they're losers in the locker room because he lost the games. I don't give a fuck if everybody was like, well, man, all right, y'all, we lost another one. But we stick together, y'all, through thick and thin. It's like, no, it's lean around this bitch. How much more thin than anorexic is gonna get? You need to win some games, coach. Give a fuck if everybody was smiling when they left. That's not good for me. Maybe I'm being too harsh of a critic. I don't want that. I want to win some games. Fuck all that friendly shit.
It was to the point where Joe had to be like, we ain't even worried about the X's and O's. What you
we'll get to that later.
Joe was like, we ain't even worried about the X's and O's right now. Because we looking at the X's and O's, we got to look at our players, which I understand the sentiment of that. But I think he also was like, these motherfuckers ain't doing nothing special to well. Like, I think it was partially like, it ain't like he coming up with something that they can't run. It's just ain't nothing good right now. You know what? Don't worry about the X's and O's, y'all. So that's just, I don't know, though. I don't want to continue on with the Borrego stuff. He will be the one that disappoint me.
When you look at like some of the playoff fallouts, what are you learning from the playoff fallouts that you can attribute to the Pelicans? Like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Doing that would be a mistake after watching this. Because I personally feel like some of my thoughts have been confirmed with certain players. Because people talk about all the ex-Pelicans, and I'm like, well, some of them dudes not playing at all.
Majority of them dudes not playing.
Majority of them not playing, and some of the ones who did play, they looked like they looked when they were Pelicans.
And most of their teams lost.
Yeah, so it's like, all right.
Most of their teams lost. And so as far as like the playoffs come, like I look at it like this. We are not even in the position right now to be worried about playoff basketball. That's I'm gonna just be honest. That's first. We gotta figure out regular season basketball. We can't figure out regular season basketball. So if we look at playoff basketball, like listen, I ain't gonna lie. I only have confidence in like Zion and Trey and Sadiq. I think Fears at some point they get there too. But like as far as like who DeJounte's played in the playoffs, but like I'm talking about who would truly be able to do something on the playoff setting. That's probably like the only people I truly believe in, because no, when I look at Herb, bro, I just
oh man, okay,
you in a playoff setting, and this is the point that I was trying to make. Like when people were talking about
shout out to my dog Malik Ball with that 20 ball, man. Shout out to the homie. We appreciate you, dog. Shout out to Jarrell. Wow. Go ahead, my bad.
Nah, it's just if you look at Herb and players like Herb, unless you are a sore, and this is what I was saying during the regular season.
And a sore like an athletic monster.
Oh my god, dog! You can't replicate what him and his brother can do, right? So like, I think Herb's best game of the season was the second half against Houston, right? When he's getting all of the steals and calls and turn. Like, bro, if you're gonna be a dude that's ineffective offensively, you gotta create so much havoc.
You gotta wreak havoc.
Bro. You gotta be able to guard. Like Asar was guarding people, blocking shots, getting steals, putbacks, dunking on. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what's crazy, bro? They still should have lost that series in five games.
Bro,
they still supposed to lose that series in 5 games.
And that's a dude, and again, that's a dude that's like,
no, I'm sorry, in 6 games. In 6 games.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that dude is an insane player, right? Bro, we don't have nobody on the roster like that.
Wreaks havoc, physical monster. Like, no,
bro,
me watching the Toronto series, bro. And look, Mobley, I thought Mobley and Jared Allen, especially them last 2 games, really dominated. Jared Allen had about 3 really, really good games Mobley had about 3 really good games, and Jared Allen was injured. But when you just look at the level of physicality that Toronto was able to play with, well, most of the people on Toronto that they was able to play with, that it was like, bro, it's hard to mimic this with some of the guys that we have available. Only people I can really see doing it would be like Sadiq and Zion from a physical standpoint. Yeah, from a physical standpoint, and maybe Trey in spurts. But from pure physicality, it's hard to match up with guys like that because they're physically stout. Even RJ Barrett would be like one of the largest physical players on the Pelicans right now. What was happening with the T5 the Great? That's why I'm glad they invested heavily into their strength and conditioning program, because they need that desperately, bro. You need it desperately,
bro. That's all Joe was talking about in the exit interviews. He was just like, "Oh, y'all, we not tough enough. We not strong and like we have to become more physical." And that's basically like, y'all bitches weak. Like y'all weak.
Like, yeah, respectfully,
from a strength standpoint, it's like, bro, y'all get bullied too much. And if you look like Jalen Duren didn't even play well, simply on the strength, and he's a stronger player. Right, and he was that's a 20-10 dude in the regular season, because you see weak people throughout the season. Don't nobody want to play with that level of physicality consistently. Yet playoffs come, Wendell Carter Jr. manning up, Mitchell Robinson manning up, Cat Rudy Gobert, like Joe, like bro, especially when you come talking about like the Wemby and all of them, dog. Wemby ain't gonna do nothing but get stronger.
Bro, shout out to Jay Burke, man. Jay Burke said, "Can y'all see Herb doing what McDaniels did for the T-Wolves?" I can't.
Fuck
truthfully.
no,
Like
no.
even with Dyson, bro. Even with Dyson, it's like, all right, maybe you need a lesser role. We need to figure out something else for you, because when you have players that are that one-sided, you have to compensate for their shortcomings. Like, again, Derek Queen had an interview. Shout out to Bayou Sniper. He mentioned Derek Queen also. He had an interview with Scoop B, and he was like, well, we know Herb, the help man, is typically guarding Herb, so he's going to rotate it. And it's like, basically what you're saying without saying it, and he may not be saying this in a negative way, but basically what you're pointing out is that you're playing 4 and 5 offensively. Yes. So that means someone's got to. Someone's going to be quick to rotate, and they're going to leave Herb open, and that's the shot you live with. If Herb out there hitting 4 or 5 threes, you just live with it. Whatever. Like, you just meant to lose that game. So I do think Herb is going to be a person that's on the trade block, and I do think you might find yourself back into the draft or taking on a contract like Cam Johnson's or somebody who actually needs defense, who has enough offense to compensate for some of those shortcomings.
I just think if you put Herb in the Alex Caruso role and you put him off the bench or something like that, and even when Dyson, people forget this, the year when Dyson got that money or earned that money, bro, Dyson was averaging damn near 6 steals a game. Like, getting, you know what I mean? Like, he was going crazy defensively.
Right.
Like, that was an anomaly. And then you see Dyson, which, again, to Dyson's credit, Dyson is a better on-ball defender than Herb also.
Oh, yeah, so Dyson's a hell of a ball defender.
Some of the
things, you rebound well, too, in my opinion.
But, yeah, so, like, some of the things that while Dyson offensively is god-awful, like, Dyson consistently can guard whoever he's asked. Like, Dyson, bro, you talking about Dyson having to guard Brunson for most of the season. You know what I mean? Like, when you put Dyson on other guards, Dyson does relatively well. Again, creates turnovers and whatnot. And I'm not even saying that you could play Dyson consistently. I'm just comparing Dyson to Herb. I ain't paying Dyson $150 million, but like, come on, dog.
Bro. The thing, and again, bro, like, again, I keep going back to this series with Toronto and Cleveland, because ultimately defense don't matter as much as we like to, presume it does. Physicality,
you gotta get buckets.
You gotta get buckets. Snead was getting buckets. Them dudes we never heard of, the 15th men on that fucking bench for Toronto, were getting buckets. And you know why Scotty Barnes couldn't get no buckets the other day? Because he picked up 4 or 5 fouls and he had to sit a lot of the game. Like, Donovan Mitchell was abysmal most of the series. James Harden abysmal most of the series. They just couldn't hit a shot. Like, they couldn't score because they're supposed to be running them dudes out the gym. The physicality. And now one thing, and this goes to toughness, not necessarily defense, but Toronto was dominating on the offensive boards. They were dominating.
Yes.
So, look, if you can't get buckets, if you can't get buckets, and you can't get the opposing team's best player in foul trouble, then none of this matters. Like, at the end of the day, and that's really what it boils down to.
Even if you look at the Orlando series, before Franz goes down, they were physical enough because what's dog throughout the season, other than Cade, the Pistons lived off the defense. Their defense didn't mean shit. Like, they couldn't stop. They could not stop nobody, and the physicality wasn't doing nothing. So until Franz went down, they had to rely more on subs. They had you know what I mean? They ain't have to rotate off of nobody. They ain't have to double. They was able to pack the paint on Paolo and stuff. Like, it just made the series a little bit tougher.
Bro, we got 92 people on the YouTube side, and we got less than 50 likes. Let's take a second. We're gonna play a commercial break, and I need you to hit the like button. I need you to hit the like button. Look, during this commercial break, either hit the like button or just dip. Just dip. But I need you to hit the like button. You know what I'm saying?
This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts and she's juggling them. Look like she about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties. Spreads her cheeks. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what's on the video. Spreads her cheeks. This is madness.
shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. But also, look. He said, wait, hold up. He said, I would have wanted to see all this. yo, he wild. But yo, okay. But all right, so
he had the lock back in.
Yeah, let me lock back in real quick. So, okay. It is interesting to me that a couple of the names that have been retained, one being Jody Meeks and Greg Monroe, they were retained. Again, the relationships there from the Detroit days. I think you're going to look to bring over some people who you had the most success with, and both of those guys. I mean, Troy probably had the most success in OKC, but Joe, again, 3 championships he brought to Detroit. One,
you know what I think?
You
know what I think about, like, I was thinking about this too, is like far as the people that got retained and stuff like that, and like part of why Joe like has kept a lot of his people around, if they were already around, it's probably their character.
Yeah,
right. It's probably the character more so than like ability and stuff like that. Like right now, they're trying to mold character and stuff. Like, because you got to think, if they drafted Greg Monroe or they took Jody Meeks and all of that, it's kind of like, though, you know what? We believe in the kind of person you are. Eventually, we move off from you because you might not be able to produce. But I think part of this is when you, again, we're in the to me, this is really the first year. This season coming up is the first year where you truly get to judge what they're gonna be moving forward. You gotta get your people from top down to where if I deliver the message to you, right? One, you gonna produce the message the way that I want to produce, and you ain't gonna be, I don't want to say backstabbing, but you're not gonna be giving out like the information that you're not gonna be giving, like you're not gonna be leaking the info, bro.
Look, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like because I mean, fuck it, everybody gone now, it don't matter. So I'm talking about when that Scoot shit was happening, you knew when they brought Scoot into the building, you knew when Scoot, when they was talking to Scoot, you knew what some of the offers were, you knew everything, and that's typically how it's been in New Orleans. I'm talking even with the Saints, with the Pelicans, like there's just a certain lack. I'm not gonna say professionalism, but there's something to be said about people working for organizations 20 years and like bad organizations, because if everything's successful, it's different. But when you work for a bad organization for 20 years, you just start showing up to work when you want to. Like nobody cares.
Yeah,
shirt not tucked in and shit. You stealing shit from the office and shit like that. Like it gets
telling all everybody business.
It gets to be a real ghetto, lowbrow situation, and I'm glad that they added at least somewhat of an air of professionalism to the building. We're going to see, because it all remains to be seen. Again, they play a lot of things real low key, close to the vest. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a total contrast to how things were done in the last administration. I'm telling you, like, sometimes it just got to the point where you didn't want to hear nothing else about people.
Here's an example. When Brandon, like when they were getting ready to fire Stan, everybody knew why they was firing Stan.
Yeah.
Like like you knew exactly why they was firing Stan. You know what
Brandon,
I mean?
So Brandon cut that jungle music off, man.
You get what I'm saying? But like no, I'm just saying certain shit is just kind of like you don't even really want to know. Everybody's reporting. You don't know. Whoa, appreciate y'all. You don't know none of what's going on from the Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver side of things. You know what I mean?
Not a lot. Yeah.
Not a lot.
Nowhere near that. Yeah.
And it's mainly people trying to put it together. You know what I mean? Like it's more so like they might have been having conversations, or You know, you don't know, you don't even have enough tendencies on Joe and them yet here to even make like educated guesses of what they're gonna do.
All you know is that they're aggressive.
Yes,
that's like the only thing you can say matter of factly. But like generally speaking, there have been more reported misses than they have been hits and successes. Truthfully, like you've seen that a couple times where it was like, well, when Joe came in, ownership demanded, well, whatever, the car ownership demanded that he Willie Green. And he was like, no. And look, I've since heard that echoed. I'll just say that. I've since heard that, nah, we just had to, see, what was going to happen.
I just wanted to see for myself.
I had to evaluate the situation myself. Now, whether you agree with that or not, I've heard that, and then that's just one side of the story. For all I know, someone could come out tomorrow and be like, "No, there was a mandate." So we'll probably never know. But he's gone out. So it doesn't matter.
I just think the way I personally think the way Joe and Troy are going about it, I personally like it. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I personally like it. One, because it gives you something to talk about, first off, because if you really just knew, and I think they would be critiqued either way. And that's the point that's crazy. Like if they just came out and hired Rondo, right? Then it would be like, well, fuck, y'all just gonna hire Rondo? Like we ain't gonna do no true coaching search?
See,
like,
shout out to Bernie Mac. And look, we got over 100 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Hit the like button. Shout out to Bernie Mac. And then it gets to the point where what he told kid? He said, I used to tell a girl, her daddy, it's a nice tie you got. So you can't say that. Wife not choking with it. Like sometimes there's nothing you can do to please a motherfucker, right? But the only thing you have to do is win. And you don't necessarily, one thing I will say that I have heard echoed is that Troy and Joe don't go out of their way to ingratiate themselves to people. And it's like, look, this ain't no kiss ass contest. We here to win basketball games. And ultimately, that's all that matters. No, I'm not here to be nobody's friend. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure they're not here to be nobody's friend. They're here to win. You know what I'm saying? They're here to win because when you're a real deal Hall of Famer, 3-time champion, you believe in legacy. You believe in legacy. You know what I'm saying? You're one of those guys.
That dude a true like Louisiana Hall of Famer, NBA Hall of Fame,
Michigan Hall of Fame.
The dude really is.
I'm one of them people. Michael Jordan said, I'm one of Michael Jordan's favorite Pistons. Me and John Sally, the favorite Pistons of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan hates the Pistons. So I'm one of them guys. But again, that was as a player. That was as a player, but I'm just showing the pedigree. I just say that to mention the pedigree. But again, like a little bit back to roster construction and, a bit of the coaching search. I've mentioned again, I just think the Pelicans need to be in talent acquisition mode. I don't necessarily care about what position those people play because I think the Pelicans do have more than enough guys that you can argue wouldn't play on good teams. So what do you think about, some of the teams that went out and fizzled out in the postseason so far? You got Denver, you got Boston, you got Orlando, you got Toronto. What do you think about some of those teams that fizzled out, and who are some players that you might want to take a flyer on, or Houston as well? Because I mentioned Houston earlier. Some guys you may want to take a flyer on and potentially bring into New Orleans, man. What you thinking?
Let me throw this back to you real quick. Pause. That's crazy.
That was a crazy pause. That was a hell of a pause.
That was a bit insane.
Motherfucker told me this in the comments the other day. Motherfucker said, "Oh man, we from Canada. We don't do that pause and shit." I'm like, "Yo, what? So what y'all be doing?"
Yeah.
Y'all just talking reckless. Okay, go ahead with impunity.
So,
go ahead.
So this was my thought for a second. Say because Cleveland advanced, right? Certain teams, even that advanced to the second round, it still don't mean shit because the second round ain't enough. Like
how Cleveland did it, it was bad.
Like if Cleveland get to the second round and lose, like it's just as bad as losing in the first round. You get what I'm saying? Who's another? The Knicks losing in the second round to Philly right now. If you were to lose to Philly, like you still
those two teams Now, it don't look like they're at any risk of losing to Philly based on this first game, but I get you. Philly though,
but
even
just
Philly
yeah. To a degree, you got to figure out what's up with Joe. So I'm just so on top of the teams that lost in the first round, like Portland lost in the first round, but that's kind of like okay, like you can live with them losing. I think the only two teams that lost in the first round that's really in good position is like Phoenix because you lost to OKC, Portland. Who lost to the Spurs, you know what I mean? You ain't really mad about where they at. And like Phoenix was coming kind of somewhat off a rebuild. So as far as like who am I looking to add is I think because initially at some point during the season, the Magic was talking about Paolo might be on the move. Right? Like
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
I don't buy that either.
Well, what up?
I don't buy that either. But
now,
but the reason I throw it out there,
I'm calling.
So the reason I throw that out there is Franz has been injured the last 2 or 3 postseasons or something like that. Yeah. So that's a player that you might have to target, right? I'll just do like one player from each team. Boston and lost. Like I don't know who they got, but maybe you consider who the fuck Boston got on their roster other than they big. I don't know if I want Derek White, but maybe for the right scenario.
You think Derek White washed?
I don't know if he necessarily washed. I just don't know if do that much for us. Like, well, I ain't gonna say any help.
We got 108 people. Shout out to Hakeem. I would like Hauser. Yo, we got 108 people in here. Make sure y'all take a second, hit the like button. But Hauser is someone I would be interested in.
So like for like Hauser, somebody Cater. It's the center for them.
I don't think he's going nowhere, but I would love to get him on the team. Either, that dude nice. That dude nice.
Like if I could do a ease for Cater kind of thing, listen. You could talk me into something like that. Who else lost in the first round, man? Denver gotta do something.
Yeah, Denver is.
I'm trying to get Watson. I don't think you're gonna be willing to pay him, but I kick the tires on Watson.
I wanted to ask you this. I mentioned Jamahl Murray before. You staying away from Jamahl Murray, right?
I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. So it depends. Okay. It depends. Where I think we at, I think you could do it. Also, I put it to you this way: if I'm willing to take Ja, I can't necessarily frown at being able at Jamahl Murray to a degree.
The cost of acquisition might be higher. Cost of acquisition might be a little higher.
That's why that's kind of where I'm at, right? So I don't know if I'm willing to give up what it would take to get a Murray, to get a Jamahl Murray. And I think Jamahl
Tim Hardaway Jr. turned down New Orleans before Debo. Now that was via free agency. I don't know if he necessarily turned him down at this stage in his career, but he turned him off.
He turned him down a couple years. He's still trying to stick to the league. He going wherever you could get a job.
Yeah.
And he probably turned down Griffin's.
Yeah, he probably turned down Griffin. He might not turn down Joe and Rondo, but he turned them down, and they was willing to pay him a significant amount of money.
Yeah, he probably thought he had a little bit more in the tank, depending on where he was at.
He had a hell of a year in Detroit. He had a hell of a year. To his credit,
I wouldn't trust playing for. MPJ wasn't really a off season, but as far as like a team that got eliminated, I would consider it. Now listen, everybody damn near got to be on the table. But Denver specifically. Yeah. Orlando may be willing to make some changes because you don't know what's going on with their roster. And Anthony Black is starting to ascend. They got to figure out what the fuck they doing with Suggs and his contract getting ready to kick in.
You know what? Shout out to Ivy. I think Ivory always a little bit too early with certain stuff. Because he talked about Anthony Black and he spoke about Klingen, and I'm like
Klingen.
Black I gave him good year out of all of these years. And
I gave him the pushback.
I disagree, but go ahead.
I gave him the pushback on Klingen, and it was mainly because I'm like, bro, and you gotta be able to get buckets. You gotta be able to get buckets. Like that's what it. Yes, Yes.
Ooh.
1000%. Yes.
Okay. I like both of them, but yeah.
I like Clingan, but I like Clingan as like a rotational piece to a degree. Like I'm not saying he can't start for you. Like if he's in an Isaiah Hardenstein role, then I'm
like 25 cool minutes.
Yeah, like
I like Alex Sarr a lot. If Alex Sarr was available, I would trade for Alex Sarr. I like Alex Sarr.
There's no way you could get Alex Sarr, but I made the call.
I got a hot take about that, honestly.
About what?
I
would
got? Trade Derek Queen for Alex Sarr.
I do.
I would trade Derek Queen for Alex. So I think Alex Sarr, like if they get the right coach and they start focusing on winning instead of just whatever they're doing, because they got some nice players over there. We got Bub, we got Trey Johnson. Now you got Trae Young, you got Alex Sarr. Trae Young might
gonna naturally make them do. Yeah, Trae gonna make them dudes better. Like just his presence on the court. I like Sarr a lot. You definitely can't get it. You definitely can't get Sarr. Yeah, who else lost? I'm calling Portland about like a couple of their players and see like who?
You calling about Jeremy Grant? Because most of their players that's gonna be like available is probably like backcourt players. Like you might get you might could get what's I don't think I do Sharp.
So
Shaden's shooting bad. He's shooting bad.
The only reason I say I take Shaden is because he's young enough. His contract is manageable. Like Shaden how old is Shaden? 23. You know what I mean? 22, 23 years old, and he just signed. He got 20. Like his deal is less than trade deal for like the next 3 or 4 years. So
yeah, but it's also like that for a reason too, though.
What you mean? Because of what, the play?
His play is the reason why his deal is a little.
So I look at it this way: like I look at Shaden. I'm not asking you to be a star. You just need you need talent. Like you still need like in my opinion, this team still needs somebody that can in the regular season just go out and go get buckets.
Now, what do you think about this? Louisiana gal say Portland called New Orleans about sending Grant in a salary dump move, and Joe said no. I'm presuming that it would have been for like maybe Poole, because Poole's expiring this year, and I'm not sure how many years Grant has left on his contract. I'd rather just keep the. If I was gonna get some picks with it, maybe. If I was gonna get some picks, I might have did it. She said also, would you trade for De'Aaron Fox? Because people talk about Ja and Fears, but they got too many point guards on that team.
Bro, Fox got the full max. Like
me,
I'm not doing it.
I don't think I would do it.
I'm not doing it. Like
a couple of years ago, I would have did it. I don't think I'll do it now.
So I'll say this: if the only thing you asking me for is like DeJounte and Poole, then yeah, like you know what I mean. But even no, I don't even know, because like Fox got 3 to 4 years left of 50 to 60 mil, and if you're not about to win, like what's the point of having that dude? I think by year 3, Fizz is your guy anyway. And can I play my guy next to this guy? I don't know.
I would only do that or like trade for a player like that if the rest of the roster was already like, if I can move stuff and still be good. Like the DeMar DeRozan deal for Kawhi. Like if I could trade stuff like that and I'm still got a formidable roster, then I'll probably do it. Yeah. But a lot of shit had to go right for them also. Drew Holiday going to the Bucks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Drew Holiday going to the Celtics. You know, my roster got to be able to get me over the top after this deal, because those guys alone. Because, you know, what's crazy, and the playoffs always expose this to some degree. Well, not really the playoffs, but I'll say a lot of players are better suited as a number 2 or 3. And like those guys those guys who are like number 1s, they just stand out so much. like
Cade is a 1, though.
Yeah, like Cade they just stand. I think, but here's the thing. Is he? Because again, you was just supposed to lose. Now, one could say the sum of your parts.
That's a good point. Like, is Cade a championship one. I don't know if Cade is a championship.
Oh, well, let me rephrase. I mean championship ones.
Okay. I don't think so. I don't like Shea. Shea is a 1.
Clearly, yeah.
Obviously.
I think Luka's a 1 also. He just don't
Luka is a 1.
Or at least skinny Luka was a 1.
Right. The reason I say Cade is Cade obviously was in the MVP, run-ins and stuff like that. And you got to give him a little bit of time to see. But at the same, I just don't know if when it's really. No, I don't think Tyrese a 1.
You don't think Tyrese a 1?
I don't think
my thing is
no. They was down 3-1 until Embiid got back. Embiid is a 1.
I think he means Tyrese Halliburton. He might mean Halliburton. But my thing is, how much has to go right for you to win? And that's because so much of this shit is luck. Like even when we talk about the coaches, when we talk about roster construction, when we talk about a number of things, so much has to go right for you to win. There's no right way to do the shit. Like again, I always talk about OKC, and ironically, Troy Weaver was there. They had Harden, Kevin Durant, Westbrook, at one point, Paul George, Carmelo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That team made 1 finals. You had all them Hall of Famers. That team made 1 fucking final. Steven Adams, Jeff Green, what's the homie name, man? Reggie Jackson. I think it was his name. Was it Reggie Jackson?
He was there.
Yeah. Schroeder was there at one point. What's the homie who went crazy? Enes Kanter was there.
Yeah.
So many good players. Serge Ibaka, Domantas Sabonis. So many fucking name brand players that never won shit. It took them resetting the team 2-3 times to really get it together.
To get 1 championship.
And then a motherfucker.
Same thing with Boston. Same thing with the Celtics.
Then a motherfucker tear his Achilles in the finals.
And you lose. And you win.
And you win. Like everything y'all were just blessed by God. Like at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Same with the Celtics. Kyrie, Kemba Walker, just all these guys you made it to the finals twice, and you only won once. You got a first round elimination. Got eliminated by the Knicks after that. I mean before that. Then you got eliminated by the Heat one time, if I'm not mistaken. It's just it's turmoil. Everything has to go right. Like again, I say this. Look, if Quickly and Brandon were healthy during that series, Toronto loses in 4 or 5 games.
You mean Cleveland?
I think if Quickly,
they beat Cleveland.
I said it right. Yeah,
Toronto loses.
Yeah, the only reason that series was close, the only reason
because they was off the court,
because they was out. Like the only reason that series was a dogfight.
Oh, because Shed got the play. Was it Sneak? I think it was because
that dude was giving Harden the fucking blues. No, James Harden was turning the ball over 8 times a game. They're like, yo, what are you doing?
Above 4 all game.
No, them physical dudes, 14th man, 15th man. Them fucking dudes out there fighting for their life out there. Them dudes out there fighting for their fucking life.
Oh, listen. Here's a name. Mm-hmm. People be hating on this dude. Would you take RJ Barrett?
Yeah, I think one thing I say about RJ Barrett.
RJ
Barrett to me is a guy that he just hit a play. I mean by just hit a play, he reminds me of Sadiq Bey this year. He's not scared of shit. He's not scared of shit. He can score from everywhere on the court. Defensively, he tries. He's not great, but he tries. But I think he should have been in that trade for Brandon Ingram initially. We ended up getting Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, which I'd
have took RJ Barrett back, bro. I'd have gave Zion his partner.
Yeah,
I'd have gave him his partner, though.
And then RJ Barrett, he's a guy he's playing for a contract. I think that dude's a heck of a player. I would have I don't know where he would fit on this team necessarily, but I'm willing to figure it out. I would absolutely have traded for him.
You don't have the cachet to say you can't take him. He probably better than Trey right now.
You think RJ Barrett better than Trey? I think he's way more aggressive than Trey. I think Trey is probably overall a better. Trey can score and probably more spurts.
Probably a more I don't even want to say talented necessarily, but
now RJ more skilled than Trey.
Yeah, he's like
more skilled.
If you got a game and you need somebody to make sure they deliver, I'm like in a high stakes game, I'd rather have RJ.
If I needed to know how this person was gonna play tonight, I need you to play a certain kind of way tonight, I'll probably go RJ because I've never seen Trey. Like again, RJ, was he coached by? Was he there with Tibbs? Was there?
Yeah,
so he was there with Tibbs.
He was there when it first was done because they initially when they first was rebuilding it around Brunson, he was there.
So he's got some experience with high caliber coaching. Like, and that's one of the things when people, that's one high stakes games. Playing next to all NBA caliber guys, like that's one of the things I always put emphasis on when you talk about some people who might have not necessarily shown development to the point where you would have liked to see. They've been playing with some of the worst coaches in the NBA in New Orleans. Like that's another thing. It's like, bro, like come on, like it's been leaning around this bitch.
If like, and then to think about RJ specifically, if you trying to make moves, because I don't think they're gonna make like significant moves, right? But you can make moves that'll make you incrementally better. If you
like another Sadiq Bey tier move,
like I think a RJ move would kind of level your roster out, like you know what I'm saying? Like, because if I'm obviously starting RJ, right? You could start RJ, have you some size, have you some physicality, another person that can score, willing to shoot the ball. He gonna play defense, you know, he gonna rebound, he gonna do that. Dude be wanting to win.
Yeah,
and then you slide.
He gonna play. Like he gonna go out there and ball.
You slide Sadiq Bey to your bench. You know RJ gonna you know try to motivate his dog. Like you know what I mean. Yeah. So I like RJ is one of those players that. I think if you brought in as one of those sleeper people that kind of would absolutely help elevate your team, kind of like where we are. So like let's say you got a RJ Barrett and you brought in a Cam Johnson. Like you made the Herb deal, you brought in Cam Johnson. Yeah. That's not moves that you like, oh, you're gonna be a great team or nothing like that. But for where we are, that team will make you significantly better.
You have NBA players like that would be, like you would have like that's the thing. No one's necessarily advocating for these deals, and I'm very interested to hearing more of the names you draw out there. But the Pelicans issue for the last 4 or 5 years has been you don't have enough NBA players like bona fide. I belong in the NBA guys. You got some fringe people, some motherfuckers that could go to Spain, some people that could go to China. Whatever. There's a lot of bilingual players on this team. You need to get some I belong here in the States NBA caliber players. Like shout out to Brandon.
You got me ready to send DeJounte ass to Toronto.
I don't give a fuck where you send him. I don't give the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck where you go. But I say that just because like and I think he should go to Houston, honestly. But I think for too long, the Pelicans, like, we just hoping that we can find a guy to give us some minutes. Gary Clark, Jose Alvarado, Najee, like, we're finding guys and we're hoping to turn them into something, these diamonds in the rough. But, bro, you need some bona fide, like, I'm ready to go.
Men out there, bro. You need some dudes bro. El Qaeda was that's El Qaeda. I don't know if that's this man's name. I don't know if that's the dude name, man.
I think his name is Qaeda. I think that's how you pronounce it.
It's Qaeda. I don't know the first name. L. That's
I just call him Q.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call him Q. But like, if you like, I'm being honest. That's like around the margins kind of moves that make you a significantly better team. I was tripping. My bad.
Guy that totally outplayed his contract this year.
Yes, bro.
Like, if the officials would have let him do his thing, they would have won that game. They got him in foul.
But you need somebody like you need somebody like, dog, we don't have time, respectfully. I don't have time for the Eves Meese's to like
no, you can't stand Eve, though.
I know it's not Eve was bro. Listen, it's not that I don't like Eves. It's just the ink, like the inconsistency.
You don't have time. You don't have time to be trying to like mature with the motherfucker. You need somebody already there where I need them to be. That's basically what you're saying.
In certain positions, yes.
Yeah.
In certain positions, like I could wait on my skilled point guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if your skill set is something that's legitimately like skill based, okay, I could wait on that. Even DQ, for example, DQ skill set. And this is the only thing, and he needs to get stronger too. But his skills are literally like you can see the pass and the handle, stuff like that. Dog, Misi is supposed to be a fucking rebounder. Like
I don't know. The only reason I say that is because he ain't been playing ball long, and when he was drafted, he got drafted at 21. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But he got drafted as a project, but he playing like a starter. Like he started 76 games of rookie season, and realistically, Willie, like he's fucked himself up because Willie was the starting center. He like post, and all of a sudden,
but it was either him. Bench. Oh, you talk about this year, but you know what? It ain't the fact that he liked the post. It's the fact that nigga played Jerry Springer ass games. They're gonna screenshot the post and post the post. Yeah, what kind of weird shit is that? But I think the thing with Eve is he's all like to no detriment of his own. He is either him or Daniel Tice. Like so, exactly. I'm gonna go with Eve. So
now let me ask you
they
this
never
right
really
now.
put him in a
You got one game, right? We again one game it matters. You playing Q or you playing Misi?
Who the Q? Oh, from Boston.
I can't call him what I called him a second ago, so he got to be Q.
I'm playing him because he's a larger player and but here's the thing too.
Even Luke Cornett be out playing Eve sometimes.
But here's the thing too. You talking about two players that been playing basketball that's under like one of the greatest coaches in basketball in Missoula and Brad Stevens and you're talking about guys who surrounded by like high IQ basketball. Now ask me if I'm playing Eve or Jakob Portal. And that's when the conversation get a little bit different. I'm probably playing Eve. And that's where dog, so much shit is situation, like in circumstance, like where you get drafted and things like that. There's so much of it is circumstance, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, let's say Nickeil Alexander Walker this year, right?
Yep.
If this year is an outlier and he just go back, he regressed to the norm, which is averaging below double digits, then people gonna be like, fuck, we get this dude this contract. Because that's how people feel about Dyson right now. So
you gave Dyson
even with Sadiq, it's like even if Sadiq regress, like and he averaging like 12 points a game, like fuck, what do we do? Like it's gonna be a tough situation. Look, Alston, he said what Eve do to make you just like him. Alvin just ready for somebody who plug and play, dog. Like
bro, like
you ready to win. So you ready for somebody?
Bro, listen. Even with Sadiq, to an example, right? This is my thing. Like Sadiq, Herb, Eves. If Eves is my third big, I'm cool. Like if Eves is my rotational big off the bench, I'm cool. But you gotta have what I'm tired of is trying to make players like more than what they are. Like for example, Herb Jones
guys have to punch up.
Yes, like Herb Jones, for example, was great. Starting, I don't want to say like a great player, but Herb was a second round pick. Like you had all NBA level defense. He was solid. Like you get what I'm saying? Herb Jones, in my opinion, like the 49 win season was like peak Herb Jones, right? And even still, based off what else you had around them, there's no reason Herb, in my opinion, should have been starting over Trey. When you had Brandon and Zion and C, like I just don't think so. But you would have had more off the bench. You keep trying to make Herb Jones your starter, or you keep like even Sadiq Bey to a degree. It's not that Sadiq Bey can't start in spots for you, but you need to upgrade these positions so you can actually fill out your team. So like if you come into the season next season, you be like, all right, my starters are I got Herb as a starter. You automatically just not good enough. Even if you say Sadiq to a degree, like I'm sorry, dog.
No, I get what you're saying because you still positioning yourself to kind of start behind the 8 ball.
Yes, bro. It's like starting with Willie Green.
It's like regardless of how people feel about Zion this year, this team was really bad when Zion went to the bench. Like you just couldn't generate offense, and that's why like if you did have Sadiq off with the second, you need somebody that can generate offense. And too often the Pelicans just couldn't generate offense.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. You need like the players we talking about, like RJ Barrett, even Sadiq Bey to a degree. Like Sadiq Bey, for whatever you say, is an NBA. Like he's a bona fide NBA whether player. It's 12 to 15 or whatever. He's a true NBA player. That's somebody that's gonna be able to play on this level and give you something. You need more players like that. Like RJ has played in the playoffs consistently.
That's why I like the idea of Jabari Smith. Who are some other names? You throw some names at us. Who's some other names you would be interested in?
Man, they better not offer me Jabari Smith. Like there better not be a path to get Jabari, bro. I'm taking Jabari. Like Tari Eason. Like I'm taking Tari if he available. I think
giving him a bag. You giving Tari $12 million this offseason? No, that's like 10. You giving him $10 million this offseason?
I give Tari 10. Yeah, okay. I give Tari 10.
Okay, I probably would do it as well.
Yeah, 10. Like he's still a NBA like.
He's a bona fide NBA rotational player.
Yeah, like
when you talk about Isaiah Stewart types, not Isaiah Stewart, but those types. Jabari, yes. I'm sorry, not Jabari. Tyree Eason, Precious Achiuwa, guys like that fit the mold.
Yes. So like off the Rockets team, I would take Tari. Obviously, I would take Jabari, Walker Kessler, and listen,
ain't no path for him, but I would absolutely do that trade.
And this is my thing about Walker Kessler. Like as much as I like Walker Kessler. I don't know if Walker Kessler is a consistent starting center. The only reason I'm gonna tell you why. The only reason I say that is because while I think he is, the Jazz have not consistently tried.
Yeah, he's always a co-starter.
And then he's all like sometimes he coming off the bench. Like you see them bench him sometimes. So I don't know whether it's like you know what I'm saying. So I don't know that team. So I don't know what they got going on over there, but Walker Kessler is another player I would consider. Targeting.
So we got RJ, Tyree Eason, Walker Kessler.
You know what I would do for cheap if it was possible? You seen how Robert Williams looked against for Portland. Listen, and I'm not saying that I want Robert Williams. That's not what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. Go.
Like if you're gonna have DeAndre Jordan for $3 million, give me Robert Williams.
But see, I think, and I've heard different things about DeAndre Jordan. Well, what up with you, B. Thomas? I've heard that he may want to continue to play. So if he wants,
I'm not saying specifically for like his spot, but I'm just saying if you have Robert Williams at like that kind of number, like a super
like vet men. But the only thing with Robert Williams is Robert Williams. You just never play. Like you just never. No, he remind me of Daniel Ellerbe. Like remember the Saints got Daniel Ellerbe, and it's like, yo, when has got the 1 or 2 games a season this dude plays? Yeah. He's really good for 1 or 2 games, but this motherfucker never played. But he is someone that checked all those boxes as well.
Yeah, and he seemed like a Joe kind of guy anyway. Like for what it is, how he played, how he performed against Wemby. I'm not saying that Terrence Shannon Jr. I would take a Terrence Shannon Jr. I don't know what
he would Denver,
Minnesota's
right?
gonna.
Oh, Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't know what Minnesota's gonna be doing with their roster in a season or two because
they made the second round, so that's probably gonna give them a little false confidence. They need a point guard though. Minnesota called you don't need a point guard.
AO, I don't know what's happening with AO. I consider AO for sure. But again, I don't want too many smaller players.
Yeah, right? Need some larger perimeter guys. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go with a smaller guy, it's got to be somebody like Ja. I want like the athleticism, high ceiling. That's why I think you could use the shooting and the vet presence of a Murray, but I just don't like the Murray contract either. Like, I don't think there's a fast track to getting off Murray if you took him.
Yeah, I don't. You talking about Jamahl Murray?
Jamahl, yeah.
Because I don't like nothing DeJounte Murray does. Shooting, leadership, nothing. I don't like the number on his jersey. I don't like nothing. Like, you gotta go. But what I will say too is, man, my two key free agents that because one of these for sure I think they're gonna target. That's Simone Fontecchio, got a history with Troy, but
from Miami.
Yeah, history with Troy.
You've been mentioning him a lot.
Yeah, free agent, can shoot the ball. I think in Gillespie, but I think Gillespie gonna get paid because Gillespie.
Well, as far as
balling.
Again, so I put this out, and I kind of want to ask you this. I did a would you rather scenario, right? And my would you rather scenario was, would you rather the team go into a full rebuild, everybody but DQ and Fizz, right? And this is for young
you
players
already lost
and
me,
picks.
right? You're
right. So this is for young players and picks, or if there was a path where you ended up with Ja, where like this is your all in. This is true all in. Ja, where you kept Zion, Trey, Fizz, and Queen somehow, but you end up with Ja, where Bobby Portis, Portis, and I think Watson was my other one.
Which Watson? Peyton Watson?
Peyton. Yes.
I don't know if there's a way to do it, but go ahead.
But let's say, because some people, Rondo's your coach. Rondo's the coach. If you ended up, because some people just they don't think nothing. They ready to tear this shit down regardless. Some people don't believe in Ja, yada yada. But if you ended up with Ja, let's say Ja wear Portis, right? That's a realistic. You could realistically can end up with that.
Yeah, realistically. Right? Very
like, how do you feel about that team? And even if you throw Gillespie in there, because you could probably do Gillespie as a free agent in that kind of scenario, or some insert some form of shooter. Let's say it was what's your boy from Boston we was talking about?
Oh, Hauser.
No, Hauser. Let's say you ended up with Hauser, right? So that's the four that you bring in: Ja, Ware, Hauser, and Portis. Like, how would you feel going forward? Would you rather proceed with that type of team, and do you think you have a chance, or you going like the true rebuild? And I'm talking about like a true tear down, multiple picks type shit.
Yeah, I'm going with the team that can do something, because look, there's no guarantee that me rebuilding is going to net me the superstar caliber player I need to be a real contender. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing, but it's really no right way to do it. The Jazz been tanking for fucking years. The best player they end up getting was Lauri Markkanen, and they got him on his third team. Chicago to the Cavs to Utah. You know what I'm saying? You just traded for Jaren Jackson Jr.
You just traded for him.
Yeah, you traded for him. So it's like, there's no right way to do this shit. You could be look at the Wizards. The Wizards ain't never replaced John Wall and Bradley Beal, really. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be tanking for fucking years and not getting nothing. Reed Shepard is looking like it ain't gonna work out. Jabari hasn't lived up to being a number 3 pick at this point. Chet was number 2. You won a ring, but does Chet really look like the number 2 overall? Like, there's no real right way to do this shit. So I could be tanking for years and never get a star player. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I might not ever get Ant Edwards. I might get number 1, and my number 1 pick could be Zach Reese.
Remove LeBron from Cleveland for one moment, right? Fuck it. Keep him in Cleveland. For his first run. He didn't win a ring. He didn't. Those teams didn't do anything. Okay, so take him out. That's one number 1 pick during his first run. Didn't do nothing with them. He took them to the finals, but they couldn't get over the hump. They couldn't help get him over the hump.
They weren't nowhere near good enough.
No, put Kyrie there. By himself, didn't really do anything until LeBron came back.
They got multiple first round picks.
Andrew Wiggins got traded, so take him out of the equation. Bennett, I say more? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's 3 number 1 picks that didn't really get it done during their, well, I ain't gonna say them. The organization didn't get it done during their first contract, and Bennett just, it didn't work out. This team right here, new Cavaliers team, new team, Darius Garland, that tenure didn't work out. Now you got Donovan Mitchell. So far, it hasn't worked out. Now you got James Harden, Mobley, Allen, all these fucking people, Okoro, all these guys. What was homie name? Karis LeVert, all these fucking people. You still ain't been back. And what they hoping for? LeBron might come back one day, y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's really no right way to do it. Because I know people, I think when people talk about rebuilding, sometimes it's like with me with Twitter, sometimes I block people, not because you got on my nerve, well, not because you said something. It is sometimes you just get tired of seeing motherfuckers. Sometimes you get tired of the name. I think with the Pelicans, sometimes, what's that with your 504? What's that with your homie? Sometimes you just get tired of seeing motherfuckers. And I think that's kind of where they're at with the Pelicans. But rebuilding don't promise you nothing unless you got a bona fide guy already there.
Yeah, and you can still have a bona fide guy and it don't produce.
And still, Luka didn't win a ring in Dallas.
Yeah, you could have a bona fide guy. Because personally, I think Trae Young was a bona fide star.
He was a guy.
And Trae Young was you consider, like, people already shitting on the Eastern Conference Finals run was a flaw. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Personally, I don't really like the idea of just we're gonna rebuild because again,
for the sake of
you could be rebuilding for a decade. Like, you could be rebuilding for a decade and still, like, you could be mid rebuild fucking it, like, and I don't even want to say fucking it up, but like, it's just the players not panning out, and then you gotta rebuild again, and then you might end up having to rebuild at some point when you decide, like, all right, we're gonna do something about it. Griff actually had the like he started the rebuild. He started the rebuild. All he had to do, listen, all he had to do was cash in on Brandon a season early, and be willing to be aggressive with the picks. And you would have really had a chance. Like, we might be looking at Willie Green completely differently.
Like, and shout out to 9K. And 9K, I don't know if you know this, but never mind. And making the finals shouldn't be the bar. Jokic has been the best player in the world for 5 years or so, and only one finals appearance. Luka. Well, it depends on how you feel about Jokic being the best player in the world. But also, I'll say this: when you got that level, that air of greatness, it's fuck what they talk about. Because with the players, it matters how they feel, but really, it's ultimately with how the fans perceive success. And that's why I said earlier, it's all about what you consider success and what's tangible to you, what the deliverables are to you. And you got to get lucky a lot of times. Because look, Giannis, there's people who will go back and say Giannis's tenure in Milwaukee is a success because it's Milwaukee. But he only got one ring, and that happened in a weird way. You know what I'm saying?
Some people consider LeBron's tenure in LA a failure because he only got one.
Some people consider his tenure in Miami a failure because it's like not one, not two. It's all about if you're living in that experience and if you're a part of that fan base. Jimmy Butler made it to 2 finals, no rings. You know what I'm saying? It's viewed more as success because he had that team on his back. I think it's only really viewed as a failure if you had a bunch of other good players with you. Like Dame and Giannis goes without saying, right? The Clippers are a failure because there was a bunch of good players on that team. The old OKC was a failure because the Street Hall of Famers on that team. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the playoff P and Carmelo and Russ, and that was a failure.
Let me ask you a question real quick while we're talking about successes and failures. If the Timberwolves, as like under Ant, right? Ant signed his extension and stuff like that. So let's say Ant gonna have what, 7 years? They don't look like they moving off Ant at no time soon, right?
Okay.
If they never make a finals, is it a success or a failure? I ain't even saying winning if they never make one.
I personally would feel like it's a bit of a failure because that would mean, in my opinion, that you never really put the right pieces around Ant. But at the same time, I don't think Ant has ever been considered a bona fide top 3, top 4 player in the NBA. So
some argue that.
Not personally, I think Ant, he's had moments where he was the best player in the NBA, but I'm talking about like he's never
he's the guy.
Yeah, consistently doing like, yo, he's a real MVP candidate. I think it's always been arguable, right?
Right.
Because remember, people wasn't high on Ant coming out of the draft, and
has worked to what he is.
Yeah, and he was fortunate to be with an organization that when he came to the team, you already had Cat, then you had Rudy. Like the team always had talent. Like he didn't have to like build the team from nothing, like with multiple picks and all that. It would be a failure organizationally if you never got good players around him, in my opinion. But it's kind of tough.
I just think it's interesting because they are a year or two away from having to make some decisions themselves, right? I think like they already had to make a decision by moving Cat, right? You already had to somewhat make a decision by moving Cat for Julius and kind of doing that. But I'm just saying, like, I think the way the CBA is structured, teams only have like Boston. They just so happen they went to the finals, went even more all in with the Drew Holiday move, and they went all Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. Boom, they stayed healthy long enough to get it done. They won one, and then they had to tear that shit down. Like,
I think
OKC
also
is just,
my bad. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you good.
I was about to say, I also think Drew and KP just fell off a cliff. And I think that was part of it too. Like the way like Drew and KP last moments in Boston was bad. And I think it got to the point where it's like, all right, look, y'all gotta go. Thanks for your service. Because if you got the right guys, if you got the Giannis, a Jaylen Brown, a Tatum, Derek White to a lesser degree, Anthony Edwards, it's like everything around me is replaceable.
Yes.
Like everything around me is replaceable as long as I'm here. I'm the sun. These motherfuckers revolve around me, right? Like you got Jokic, you like to a degree, everything around me is replaceable to a degree. I think with Minnesota is still in the Cat era, even though Cat's gone because you traded.
They haven't moved enough into
Mike Conley was still kind of around, and like I think once Julius Randle and Rudy off the books, then now it's like, all right, Ant, we about to go get a guy.
Your guys.
Yeah, we about to build your team for you.
That's why I'm interested in like if hypothetically, if Wemby never get to a finals, right? Like, you don't think it's disappointing?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Look, I was talking.
You don't believe the hype?
I was talking to my people about this the other day, though. Wemby to me is not like a pound for pound player. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wemby is like to me, like for example, when you see Zion, and Zion and Shaq not necessarily the same, but in your mind, you could be like, well, if Shaq was about 6'7", there's evidence of guys who are that physically gifted, who were shorter players that was just phenomenal. Like Charles Barkley,
right.
Zion, Larry Johnson. Like you've seen Russell Westbrook is a
just
lesser
physically
example.
imposing.
This super duper monstrous like athletes and physically gifted people. If Giannis was like 6'7" or something, it wouldn't matter. It's like it's only impressive because he's 8 feet tall. And to me, that's the thing. Like I kind of saw that if Kristaps Porzingis had stayed healthy, because people don't really remember rookie Kristaps Porzingis. Shout out to Dev. Talking about Dev.
Yes.
Rookie Knicks unicorn Kristaps Porzingis was a better prospect than Anthony Davis. And I think Anthony Davis, like young Anthony Davis, is better than Victor Wembanyama. of course not like defensively. Victor Wembanyama is 10 feet fucking tall.
Bruh, young AD was great though.
No, young AD was like he was never. People were saying he was gonna be Marcus Canby. It's like Marcus Canby. Young AD is like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Young AD was special.
And look, I'm not shitting on Wemby neither because Wemby's a hell of a player. I'm just saying, like, if Kevin Durant was a few inches taller, he'd be better than. Well, he's already like quote unquote better in his day than.
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah,
but what I'm saying, it's only impressive because he's like 11 feet tall. Like if and even then, I've seen him get put through the rim. Like it's just
he has not been healthy. He already like missed some time in their first round series and stuff like that too. So it's
I hope he stays healthy though, because the game needs him, bro. Like can you imagine Yao Ming playing right now? Oh, like Yao Ming would average like 70 points. Yao Ming was fucking cold. Like so many of these dudes like was just phenomenal, bro. Like, and it's like
Dirk today would be a much better player today than he was during the time of them playing. So like, I don't know. I just find it interesting because we started all of this, but like, you know, would you be willing to do like the all-in move and like what's necessarily considered a disappointment? And it's kind of like,
let me ask you something.
I guess a disappointment would be a disappointment for me for the Joe Dumars era. Here's the disappointment in the Joe Dumars era, in my opinion. If they never try all in. You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
If they never say, like, because that was the problem with Griff to me. You never. It wasn't like the choosing because Griff came in a rebuild, right? Like
your all-in move was CJ McCollum.
Yes, like the problem with Griff. But like so Griff came in already in a rebuild, right? Like Zion was young, Brandon, or like you had the picks, you were in the rebuild, and you never were willing to push the chips all in for whatever the reason is. But in my opinion, Joe Dumars, what would be a failure to me is not necessarily what round you make it to or nothing like that. Is if they decided to sit back and say, you know what, we not gonna hit the fucking button. Like at some point,
let me get an example. Let me ask you this. Let's say I'm trying to think of somebody. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Ja's available, right? Ja's, they're like, yo, Ja available, yo, this could be something. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is a major domino that if it work out, it could be like, and you like, I'm just gonna sign Tyus Jones. The gap. No, matter of fact, let me rephrase that because the gap is too wide. Let's just say I'm gonna stick with DeJounte. Like I see Ja over there. I'm gonna just stick with DeJounte.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that one wouldn't necessarily piss me off too much. That wouldn't piss me off too much. Something, you know, what would like be frustrating to me if like let's say you did sign Ja, right? Let's say you did sign Ja. And then no. I got a better scenario for you. Just this because again, this is over time, right? This is over time. Let's say you did sign Ja, and you got a team that's like showing promise, and then like Wemby just be like, you know what? Fuck it, I want out of San Antonio.
Ooh.
And you don't put like, and you don't say like you can have it all. Or like, you know what I mean? Like if they was like, listen, we really love Fizz, or we really love Queen. And you get what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like we could have spoke about that a little bit with Jaylen Brown. Like who would be who would really be off the table? And it's like, like for me.
And that's the thing. It's one thing if like for example, when Golden State was getting ready to go acquire Kevin Durant.
Right.
Like Harrison Barnes had to go. Right. But this is just an example. It was Harrison Barnes had to go. Yeah, we flew to the Hamptons. Yeah, we packed the whole team up and we flew to the motherfucking Hamptons to go meet Kevin Durant. Like,
right, it's Kevin Durant. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you have an opportunity, and let's say Anthony Edwards was to come out and be like, yo, I want to go play with Zion. And you don't do everything it takes to get that kind of guy, no, like that to me would be disappointing. So a failed Joe Dumars era would be not hitting the fucking button and being like, at least at one point, like let's say they try to do this shit organically for like the next 2 or 3 seasons and just be like, you know what though, I'm tired of doing it this way. And you just mash the button, mortgage the picks, mortgage whatever. Then we just go get the best talent.
Because it kind of gets to the point where it's like, look, even with the Raptors, it's like to me they're a prime example of a lot of these things. To where it's like, look, we got
talking about the DeRozan Raptors.
Yeah, it's like we can't get over the hump. We need to trade our beloved guy for Kawhi. It might work out. And look, you got to get lucky. Kevin Durant tore his Achilles.
Yes.
The bounce bucket that Kawhi hit. You got to get lucky. You got to get lucky sometimes. And they got lucky. So it's so many situations like that happen. To me, it's like, for example, when Griff was considering trading Brandon for Karl Anthony Towns, right? And it's like, it could have not worked out, but yet and still, it's like you probably should have just dropped your nuts and did it. Like,
exactly.
Probably exactly. Nuts and did it.
Because like, if you make the move, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If you make the move, you know what people will say? It didn't work out, but fuck, it wasn't working out anyway.
Yeah. It's like you don't really have egg on your face in the situation. It's like you can say, well, you mortgaged our future. And it's like, okay, but that's presuming that things were going to work in your favor. You feel me? He said that Kawhi shot killed our franchise. I don't know, just real. Look, y'all in the second round right now, big dog. Shout out to just real. Y'all in the second round right now. But again, that's another
y'all
team
signing Tobias over Jimmy is what killed y'all franchise.
Yeah, I think that probably had a little bit something to do with it because y'all might.
That's another one. That's a perfect example right there. That's that's the ideal situation right there. If you got Embiid and all of and Jimmy and you see what's on and you choose Tobias over Jimmy because Jimmy a little more volatile. It's like, no, give me, and then Jimmy go to Miami and go to 2 finals.
I think it's something about Jimmy that just like, because he had the same issue in Chicago, Golden State, to a lesser degree in Golden State. I mean, as far as it's like the only place where the return was really like, yo, we got our money's worth was probably Miami. Because he's with the Wolves, they gave him the boot in the Wolves, 76ers.
Let me bag Jimmy for a second. Because in Minnesota, they couldn't make the playoffs. Jimmy got there, you at least got to the playoffs.
Yeah, it was Jimmy and Cat. Yeah. Who else on that team? Jeff Teague. Yeah.
Jeff Teague, I think. But look, after Jimmy left, they didn't go back until what? It took them years to get back. What, Pat Bev?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying? And then Jimmy, you said Jimmy went to Philly. Philly ain't been past the second round. Ever.
Not really.
Since then. And it took Kawhi it took y'all lost to the NBA champs being great. You know what I mean? Like it took Kawhi being all-time Kawhi.
Look, for y'all same thing to Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, Western Conference Finals, lost to the eventual NBA champions in the Denver Nuggets. This is not a Darvin Ham advertisement, but endorsement.
Darvin Ham trash though. If Darvin Ham go to the finals, people just was saying Joker one of the best players ever. Come on,
it's like what you gonna do against that? So, all right. So look, we're gonna get to a couple of the star questions. So me and you talking privately, you still feel like Rondo is in the lead, or at best it's 50-50, at worst it's 50-50. I mean,
yeah, at worst 50-50. I personally think Rondo is the guy. I just think, and even if it is Hetzel or Sweeney
Mosley.
or something. Yeah, even if it's Mosley to a degree, I don't think it's gonna be Mosley. But if it's, I personally think it's Rondo. I just think, like, again, I think it's enough smoke. I think it's enough enough people that want to push the Rondo narrative as well. Because you know what you don't see, and I ain't even think about this as we was talking about. You know what you don't see?
What's that?
Like people like Rondo putting their name out there and not getting the job.
That's a good point too, because that would be a little, I don't want to say embarrassing, but it would have some backlash with a
like
person.
When JJ decided,
but
Steve Nash,
when Steve Nash and JJ put themselves out there, like, you could not hire him at that point. Like, even with the UConn coach, that when they really put his name out there, it's like, if he really wants this job, you can't not hire him. I
gotta give it to him.
Yeah. So with Rondo, I don't know. I don't think. Look, Joe not gonna be pressured by the outside world, the old school man. So I don't know, but I do think there would be some PR backlash because I don't give a fuck how much people like Hetzel. People respect Rondo on a different, like, Rondo would be a box office hiring.
I think Joe respect Rondo like that. As much
I've heard that he likes Rondo a lot.
Yeah, as much as Joe knows the game, because that's what Z talk about all the time, just how much Joe knows the game, loves the game, and all of that. Bruh, I just think Joe really values what Rondo is about, and to have that kind of guy be the face of, essentially, Joe trying to create bad boy.
Yeah, he's building a culture from scratch.
Right. And you don't think that he feels like Rondo is the exact, like, above any of the other candidates? I think he's viewing, and you don't really get the opportunity to get coaches like that. Like, if you don't strike with a Rondo now, like, I hate to say it this way, you can hire Steve Hetzel or a coach like Hetzel next season. Like, there's always gonna be
I think so too. It's always gonna be a cool coach, but there's only so many watershed moments. Now, to be fair, Rondo could be awful. He could be some shits. It's possible, but you don't hit every home run you swing at, but you got to swing for home runs every time if you're in this market. I think again, it's been a lot of smoke, son. I'm talking about it's been a lot of smoke. And I have heard go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead and finish.
No, I have heard that Joe likes Rondo a lot. But that could just be on a personal level though. That don't mean he gonna hire him, but yeah.
Do you think when J Kidd was going to, because his first job was in Milwaukee, you think when Milwaukee heard that J Kidd was coming, it was potentially was gonna take that job, it was like, fuck no, like we like, how did you turn down J Kidd if you're Milwaukee? You know what I'm saying?
If Magic Johnson wanted to coach now, like, things are a little different now. But if Magic Johnson wanted to coach in like 2003, somebody was going to hire Magic Johnson to coach.
A-Rod in San Antonio going crazy right now.
Look, I'm looking at the game right now. Wemby got 12 blocks, but they still getting their motherfucking head cracked. McDaniels got 19 points. Conley got 17 assists. They down what, 9? It's a lot of time left though. A lot of things can change. It's a lot of time left, but boy, this one of them games where you start looking at the Aaron Fox like, how much money?
Somebody better do something.
Get up, millionaire.
Somebody better do something.
But
I think Rondo the guy though. I just like, again, to that point, I hadn't even thought of that point until, like, as we was talking it out. But like when Brooklyn was making their moves and them dudes was like, we want Steve Nash became the coach. Right? Like when Steve Nash said, I will be willing to coach. Same thing with all those other players.
Like, my read like this is not sourced. This is not sourced. My read on the situation is that if it comes down to Troy decision, I might say Hetzel. Just because he got that Michigan connection, even though Joe got a major Michigan connection as well. But if it comes down to, I might say Hetzel. If it comes down to Joe's decision, I think I'm going with Rondo. It'll be funny if it's neither one of them, but I think I'm going with Rondo. I think it's all about who, but also the Pelicans got a couple volatile personalities in their locker room. You need somebody that could kind of control some of these dudes and demand respect. So I do think Rondo would be that guy.
In respect to Hetzel and everything I heard, I've heard good things about him out of the people out of Brooklyn. But again, bro, you need I think Joe looking to build this shit in their image. Even they coach in Detroit, the coach he played for was thrown off. You know what I mean? Was it Chuck Daly? Was it Chuck? No, they trying to get a similar like Larry Brown wasn't soft, Rick Carlisle wasn't soft. Like you know what I mean? I just think you can't 100%, you can't say 100%, but I just can't imagine. And again, this is I'll say this. If Rondo don't get hired, I think it's because of something logistical. I think it's logistics. If Rondo don't get hired, I think it's logistics. And I don't know if it necessarily might be money. I think it might be something, I don't know what it would be necessarily, but I'm of the mindset that if Rondo don't get this job, is something they couldn't work out.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
I can see that. I think again, nobody give a fuck about no backlash, but it will be. I will say, if you hire Rondo and it don't work out versus hiring Hetzel and it don't work out, you would have a softer landing with Rondo, because the Hetzel shit would just be like, well, we could have Rondo might never be. Rondo might never end up becoming a head coach in this scenario. And people will still be like, damn, we could have had Rondo. We
could have had Rondo. And that's it. Though, again, it's kind of like you don't get an opportunity to tie your franchise to a guy that's universally regarded as a genius.
Yeah, he just heralds. That is kind of crazy.
Like you are the Pelicans.
Even Chris Paul. Even with Chris Paul, it's like you can say, well, people don't like Chris Paul. You're like, all right, well, that's true. With Rondo, it's like you don't really have that, No,
you don't have. This is one of the, I'll to my fuck it button. Them not hiring Rondo, and this might be me being over the top. Okay. This might be me being over the top.
Okay.
Them not hiring Rondo. And that's not to say that another coach couldn't work do a great job. Right. Them not hiring Rondo essentially could be the beginning of the end of the Joe Dumars era. I know that's extreme. Let me explain.
Okay. Because we ain't even getting yet. Go ahead.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean. It's not to say that whoever they hired couldn't go on to do good things or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Right? But you have to do great things.
Yeah, the pressure's on right now. Yeah.
If you pass on Rondo, right? Because even if you hire Rondo and then fail, you can hire Rondo and then fail and then go rebound with somebody else.
What's the coach in Denver's name? Alderman?
Yeah,
it's like him,
David.
It's like him. It's like all right, but Mike, but it's like, why we just didn't keep Mike? Oh, why we
keep Mike Malone?
Because now it's like I didn't talk myself into how great this could be. So now mediocrity won't do the job. So I think, is that what you're saying basically?
Yes. Like if if the Lakers, let's say the Lakers don't hire JJ Redick and they hire Borrego, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Like just because I just use Borrego because he interviewed, right?
Right.
So let's just say they don't hire JJ and they hire Borrego. And like Borrego, if Borrego is not great, the first thing people are gonna think is like when JJ doing these podcasts and sounding like a motherfucking genius, people gonna be like,
it's the guy we should have got.
You could have hired him and you took this dude.
Yeah. It's similar. The optics is gonna be crazy. Me, I'm just like, look, I just want the best man for the job. I think Rondo's the best man for the job. I do believe the backlash would be a little loud, but it's like you don't give a fuck about none of that, to be honest. Because he my thing is this, right? Because there's no right or wrong way to do it. Whatever the vision is, see the vision, just see the vision through. Execute the vision, see the vision through. Don't, because the thing, like we mentioned earlier, the thing that would get me is halfway doing it. Because that's what Griff used to do. Griff would do the first move and then shit wouldn't work out, and he would halfway do the rest of it. Just see it through. Just whatever it is, see it through, bro. See it through. And I think again, I've heard a couple of times that we getting close. I don't know. It would be great if we wake up tomorrow and we got a coach, whoever it is.
Joe gonna drop that shit at like 11:59 on him.
Right, AM or PM,
right? Midnight, right going into midnight day.
Look, where I'm at, it's 12:05. I had to jump back on this motherfucker.
Yeah,
look, you got women. Yeah, I'm like, yo, breaking news, we back. But all right, we're gonna get to the star questions. We're gonna get out of here. Yo, man, shout out to everybody that joined. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notifications. You can be notified when we go live. We're gonna be talking. It's a smoky situation, but sometimes it's a smoke screen. Sometimes it's not fire. Sometimes it's a smoke screen and some misdirection happening. So you got to be hip to what's going on. Let's get to the star questions. We're gonna get out of here, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Got my dog Mason in the building. Say, how y'all feel about Joe's process so far? I think how he moves is more important than the move itself. Appreciate y'all feeding the streets. What do you feel about Joe's process right now? Keeping things close to the vest and just going over things with a fine-tooth comb, seemingly.
I think he's played it perfectly, to be honest. I think it's been perfect. I think he's brought in he's cast a wide net. He's brought in very reputable names, very respectable names. I think he's doing a good job of, and the hire is going to matter, but I think he's doing a good job of just making the Pelican brand, the Pelican name, a more like, I think he's trying to establish the respect that he's talking about. And he's done.
Okay. That. And I'll say this, man. Shout out to Joe, shout out to Troy. Troy, people want to hear from you, man. Why don't you come on the show, brother? This is a friendly platform here. You know what I'm saying? Come on the show. Let us talk to you, man. Ingratiate yourself to the people. You got supporters over here. John said, would y'all want Billy Donovan? What do you think about badass Billy Donovan?
Initially, my answer was yes, but the more I think about it, no, because I just don't believe Billy Donovan.
He just going off college rep all the way.
Yeah. Like I don't. Good. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that Billy Donovan can. I don't believe Billy will make the kind of. I don't think he'll establish the culture that we talk about, that I think Joe wants, and the kind of culture that I want to see.
I think Billy got too many. I think Billy got too many grays. Honestly,
yeah.
No ageism, but I think he's a little long in the tooth. But like,
he's been around for a while.
Yeah, been around for quite a while. Louisiana Gal, my homie, she said you can talk to 3 different people, get 3 different answers when you ask who the lead guy. Joe has kept a lot of stuff quiet. That stuff leaked to Stein, allegedly came from Troy, nothing from Joe.
I personally think they leak shit intentionally. I think the stuff they leak is all misdirection. This the thing about and like not the I don't really think they leaked much about Rondo. Like
I don't think they leaked. Well, I don't think Joe leaked shit.
That's what I'm saying. So like, even if it was Troy that leaked whatever he leaked, I think it's more so them trying to throw people off the Rondo scent. Like real quick before we continue on, I made this point earlier on my show, and it was kind of like with Rondo, people was like, well, why they show interest in Rondo like earlier throughout the season? It's like, no, if they like had true, let's say they had true interest in making Rondo the head coach, and that had been announced like it was announced with Jamahl Mosley throughout the season, you would have had to fire Borrego throughout the season. Like you would have had to get Borrego out of there.
The fan fervor would have been kind of crazy. Like
that first, you would have had to get Borrego out of here immediately. They would have been like the 9-game losing streak. You gotta fire Borrego now. Not only that, do you think if they would have put out there that Rondo was genuinely interested in coaching, other people wouldn't have been like, shit, let me kick the tires on Rondo and figure out if he's willing to come. Because right now,
we don't know that other people ain't.
Exactly. Yeah. Which could be the logistic thing that I'm talking about. It could be the logistics that I'm talking about.
Like, wait a minute, I gotta hear what Chicago got to say. I gotta hear what they got to say.
Like right now, you in the position where you kind of leading the pack in the Rondo conversation, and I think that's because of how you played it.
Doing hacker Rudy right now. So Rudy got to split these free throws, brother. So this is a clutch ass game. Bayou Sniper said, I can't wait to see how DQ improves over the summer. What are you looking for? Oh, my bad. I skipped over a couple people. Cole Khan said, do y'all think any players are involved in hiring the coach? Do you think the players have given some input?
Only 2 of them, probably Zion and Trey at best. And I don't think Trey got much say. Honestly, I don't think Zion got much say.
I don't know if they got much say as far as like,
I think their opinion matters.
But I think they like, okay.
Oh, I like that.
I want to know what you think. So yeah.
Like I think Fierce, not like you said, not say per se, but just kind of like, I know he definitely probably talked to Zion like, hey, what you think of Rondo? Or what you think of this guy? You know what I mean? And I guarantee, I could almost guarantee you that Zion, the way he like connects with the players, bet on Rondo. I think similarly with Trey, it's kind of like, yeah, no, we want somebody like that. Oh, that's a tough bucket.
No, Julian Randle. And look, Wemby answered. Wemby got 11 points. Now, next game he might have 51 points, but I think last time like 44 seconds. I'm looking at it. 44. Well, now it's 34 seconds. They just subbed out Rudy Gobert. 34 seconds on the clock. 4-point game. Minnesota is leading by 4. But let's go to my dog Malik. I appreciate it, Malik. Malik, the only super chat tonight with that dub. Appreciate you, Malik Boss, and cut that cane. Yes, indeed, brother. Appreciate your support, fam. Let me see. But what are you looking for as far as DQ improvements over the summer? Oh, bad turnover right there by Ant Nine's a 2-point game. Harper 18 points. Harper been balling. Harper 18 points.
Harper been hooping, which is why I'm like, y'all gotta decide on Fox soon, bro. Oh, that's horrible.
They just extended it. So it's like, it's tough. Damn, Ant, that was a bad turnover, brother. So now y'all
make your free throws.
Yeah,
make your free throws.
You gotta make them count, bro. You gotta make them count.
DQ gotta get stronger.
So Randall missed one.
DQ gotta get stronger.
Okay, so DQ gotta get stronger. Okay.
Yeah, okay. DQ gotta get significantly stronger. I think that's the start for him. I think the skill is gonna come as he's getting stronger. You know what I mean?
Oh boy! Oh, they did it! Minnesota wins! Minnesota wins! Shout out the Ant dog in the building. They did it.
That's another thing.
USA.
That's another thing about Ant, though. Listen, those the kind of players like one Ant, when they said he was out, listen, dog, I'm gonna do everything in my power to be back for game 1. And you know what? Fuck David Griffin. This is why. Because regardless of if, I'm sorry, that was a bit aggressive. But because when they was in the playoffs and Zion was trying to come back,
with the foot,
with the foot or whatever it was, dog, what you got to lose? Let him come back anyway. We getting ready to go into the off season. I don't care. I don't care what the scenario. And everybody was like, no, he wasn't ready to play. Blah blah blah, yada yada, whatever. Dog,
Trust factor, probably.
I don't care.
Like,
this is what one of those situations. But look, can you give me 15? I can at least let you try it.
Yeah,
I can at least let you try it.
I'd have played his ass personally. I'd like get out.
I'd have played him. I'd have played him. We was battling them anyway. You just need somebody to give you a cool. Can you give me 10 minutes? Can you give me 5 minutes?
Especially that stage of Zion. If Zion would have played 10 minutes, you probably would have got about 10 points.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That could be the difference.
Yeah. But got Hakeem Baptiste in the building say, how y'all think the Dumas Weaver regime was fair in our city? Do y'all think they have a viable plan to turn it around or continue to do homeboy business? I think they have a viable plan personally. I think that's why you see them casting a wide net. They going and they I don't want to say outsourcing, but they're doing some internal promotions. I kind of know a couple people, but they are bringing in people from like well-regarded systems like Kirk Joseph. He's highly regarded out of Nebraska. That's a major loss to them, like for them how they're speaking of this guy. And they not just going hire the nigga from the gas station. Like, hey, you ever put a Band-Aid on somebody? You hire. Like, they're not doing that. They cleaned the building out for the most part. They kept a couple people. They kept a couple people. And again, I'm not gonna say that, but they kept a couple people. Go ahead.
Yeah, most of the hires they made so far, like Kirk Joseph, highly recommended. You know what I mean? All of the coaches they talking to, like most of them, highly recommended. You know what I mean? Like if you hear people talking about Jamahl Mosley today, people talking about Jamahl Mosley and was like, man, that dude shouldn't have got. Some people he shouldn't have got fired, and he's gonna be a hell of a coach. And like so, even if they went to Jamahl, like he's still highly recommended.
So. Miss Hunter say, do y'all believe Rondo is still an option? I'm saying I think we both agree that he's still an option. Fist of Black Stuff say, do you consider working out only winning a ring? For me, I think there's levels to it, right? Because it's very hard to win and you gotta get lucky. But see, me being in a small market, I can't say that necessarily that I only consider it a ring, but the reason why I put that onus on some of those guys is because LeBron was clearly the best player in the NBA for years, and Cleveland didn't really give him the talent he needed necessarily in his early years. I think if you did everything you could, like it's based on the situation, like the grit and grind Grizzlies or the Pacers from last year. Nobody gonna look at them teams and say, "Oh, I'm really disappointed in that they never won a ring," because it's like you lost a far superior team. Yeah, you probably ain't supposed to be here. Like, it's one of those things.
Hypothetically, if Fears, let's just use Fears or whatever, if Fears go on to look like literally one of the best players in the league somehow, right? And it's hard for a small player to be that good. It'll be tough. But if he looked like how Maxey looked, and Maxey looked like one of the top guards in the league, right? Yeah, like you could argue Maxey, one of the top PGs in the league. If you got a player that looked like that, it's incumbent on you to like not just let that player die in your franchise. Like if you had CP, and I understand CP's gripes, like Melo, you ain't even calling about Melo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a player like that, I think you need to do more I'm just saying, I think you need to do more to put, like, for whatever you say about Dell Demps.
He was bringing them dudes in. He was bringing some name brand people in.
Yeah, he was like, listen, AD, great. I don't know how long I'm going to have him. Fuck it. You say Boogie available? I'm going to get the best center in the game.
I'm going to get everybody. Like, I'm going to get Tariq Evans. I'm going to get everybody. I'm going to get everybody.
I'm going to get everybody. Eric Gordon won't come here. I'm going to get him anyway.
Yeah, and again, that's one of them things to where, like, Anthony Davis was such a guy that is like, all right, when it's all said and done, everything I just spent or lost, I'm going to get it back because I'm gonna trade Anthony Davis. Yeah. The thing with the Pelicans is just like if Fears became that and his value was transferable to that level, I can shout out to Ashton. He say, shout out to y'all been working. I just went to my girl house and y'all still talk. Oh yeah, appreciate you, fam. We wrapping it up now. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. It's like when I trade Anthony Davis, I'm gonna get about 4-5 first, and I'm gonna get some guys and da. Like, you know, but if Fizz became transferable like that, then I could kind of see it. But
like if Fizz had prime hard level game, you gotta like. I'm not saying.
Oh yeah, there's the circumstance. Yeah, you saying like.
Yeah, I'm just saying like if Fizz had prime hard level game, you gotta like. That's disappointing where like you don't do all you can to capitalize. So to me, that would be my like.
And I'm gonna lie, I kind of think they started out swinging. As far as like, again, DeJounte being injured this offseason kind of fucked up a lot because that's like $30+ million that's injured. Like that just can't play. You can't really trade it. You don't know when this person's coming back.
And Poole just didn't work out. But they swung for Poole.
But like they swung for Poole.
They swung for Poole.
Yes. And realistically, it's like, that's not a bad swing because you can only really trade for another distressed asset. So that goes to show me like we gonna come out swinging, and sometimes we gonna punch a motherfucker in the mouth, and sometimes we gonna miss. So it's like you know what I'm saying.
That's how fights go. Yeah, that's how fights go,
bro. Again, Boston just did that. For as great as Boston is, they swung for Vucevic and it didn't work out. These things happen. They could have kept Simons, and they probably would be in the second round right now. But these things, it happens. It happens with every organization. But man, that's been today's show. Shout out to everybody rocking with us. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Man, L, tell the people where they can find you at, big dog.
Man, you can catch me on Jesse Davis on X, or if you on the YouTube at Pels in the Blender. We both do our shows. Y'all know where to find us. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it.
Indeed, man. At chedda-chaz on YouTube, Instagram, all that. Make sure y'all hit the like button, ring the bell. And if anything happens, man, we're gonna be back here talking about it, no matter who's hired. And now if they hire the regular, I'm probably not coming back to talk about it. But if they if somebody notable is hired, we'll be back. But shout out to all y'all, man. Have a safe night. We out. Peace.